Translator, translating novice. Editors, Z0 Rel Blue Mango Aderisnut. Join the Discord for chapter updates and important news. Ohiseo's mind spins quickly as she looks at the monster, Seo Yunhyan, behind her. And at this moment she calculates the optimal act she needs to perform. Kug Seo Yunhyan. First, she makes a sad expression on her face. Then she speaks in a voice full of reluctance. Kill me. Drip, drip, drip. Tears flow from Ohiseo's eyes. With awkward movements, she attempts to attack Seo Yunhyan. Flash. The shape of an immortal beast emerging from her hand charges towards Seo Yunhyan. He will think something is strange. If that happens, it will be Ohiseo's victory. She knows Seo Yunhyan very well. In fact, like many male employees in the company, Seo Yunhyan also had a subtle fondness for her. Ohiseo knows this fact all too well. Now Seo Yunhyan, notice that something is strange, hesitate to attack me. The story she wants to show through her acting is that of a pitiful colleague being controlled by the evil Seo Atrial. After Seo Yunhyan asks what's going on, she would answer that she's being controlled by Seo Atrial. Then she would tell Seo Yunhyan how to break Seo Atrial's control and lead him to release it. After that, I'll inform him that I'm trapped by Seo Atrial. Then Seo Yunhyan and the other colleagues will come to rescue me, and I can join them naturally. Ohiseo smiles inwardly, satisfied with her perfect plan. She cries again with tears streaming down her face. Kill me, Seo Yunhyan. Understood. And without hesitation, Seo Yunhyan tears apart the shape of the immortal beast sent by Ohiseo and swings a pitch-black ghost claw towards her. Ohiseo dodges the ghost claw with all her might. This other dimension, created with the twisting of the netherworld's outer boundary. To control the center of this space, one has to be in a soul state. Regular physical force doesn't work. However, being in a soul state, Ohiseo understands that it will be a disaster if she touches Seo Yunhyan's ghost claw. That ghostly energy, that curse, if I touch it, my soul will rot away. She breaks into a cold sweat inwardly, thinking frantically. What is this? Why is he so unhesitant? No, wait, does he really think I've betrayed him? No, that can't be. Ohiseo cries out tearfully. Free me, Seo Yunhyan. Seo Atrial is controlling me, forcing me to attack you. Quack, 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 quack. As she says this, she releases a taiji from her hands towards Seo Yunhyan and uses the recoil to fly backward. Chia. However, Seo Yunhyan, not having suffered even a scratch, walks through the white space with 38 lights shining from his eyes. All right, I'll help you. Rest in peace. Buang. Without the slightest hesitation, Seo Yunhyan scatters a curse spell towards her. Pitch-black curses fall towards her in streams. Ohiseo grits her teeth inwardly. That stupid bastard. When Yon suggested to have lunch together at work, he told her to eat alone, and now he takes my plea literally. What a useless bitch. Having revealed that she's being controlled, there's no more reason to attack her unless he truly is an idiot. Ohiseo racks her brain. Yes, maybe because he fought Seo Atrial once. He knows how terrifying Seo Atrial is and believes there's no chance of saving me. With this conclusion, she bites her lip and acts again. Thank you, Yunhyan. To break Seo Atrial's spell, you need to unravel the 108 threads of yin-yang 5 elements and a malicious restraint called the 5 elements blood curse banner within me. Then you have to sequentially break the 4 curses in my consciousness, but that might be too difficult, right? Just let me rest. Yes, it does seem really difficult. I have no confidence. Goodbye, Ohiseo. If you can't do it, at least ask Kang Min-hee or some other smart person. I even gave you the clues. Buang. Ohiseo barely dodges Seo Yunhyan's curse again, sweating coldly. That useless bastard, he's really trying to kill me. Has he gone mad after learning some devilish arts? Just what happened during those 100 years to make him this broken? Even his past is shrouded by a hazy mist and unreadable. Biting her lip, Ohiseo decides to change her plan. That crazy madman bastard, wandering around with those strange things stuck on his shoulders, he's definitely gone mad. Ohiseo rolls her eyes. Let's give up on Seo Yunhyan for now. Since this madman is acting like this, there's no chance of joining him as a colleague. For now, it's better to look for an opportunity to join through Jian Myeonhoon or the sharp-witted Kang Min-hee later. Deciding to modify her plan, Ohiseo spreads her hands. Weighing. A taiji symbol spins between her hands. Blood Yin Ghost Valley Labyrinth activate. Pay it. In an instant, the white space twists, creating a distance of 100 li between Ohaisio and Seo Yunhyan. The Taiji rotates once. The distance widens by another 100 li. Seo Atrial's Blood Yin Ghost Valley Labyrinth. This spell twists the outskirts of the netherworld to create a special-purpose alternate space. Originally, Seo Atrial could only create the Blood Yin Ghost Valley Labyrinth but not control it. What he could do was open and close the Blood Yin Ghost Valley Labyrinth and grant administrator privileges. However, even those granted administrator privileges could not freely manage the space. To control this space, certain special conditions had to be met even if one has received the administrator privileges. And through her own powers, Ohaisio can control this space as if it's hers. I need to get far away from Seo Yunhyan and isolate him in another space. If I don't get out quickly, who knows what Seo Atrial will do to my body again. Kugaguguk. Far away, the space begins to warp due to an immense attraction force. Ohaisio grits her teeth and extends her hands. The space shifts, nullifying Seo Yunhyan's attraction force. She sweats coldly. Is it because he's at the integration level? It's tough to negate his attraction force. Anyway, since I've sealed his attraction force, he won't be able to chase me with the ground shrinking technique. At that moment, what? Ohaisio blinks her two eyes. Seo Yunhyan has appeared right in front of her. Don't worry, I'll set you free. Boing. Seo Yunhyan raises his arm. Quang. His arm, filled with pitch-black curses, smashes into the white space. What is this? Ohaisio gnashes her teeth in frustration, her expression one of disbelief. He got here without using the ground shrinking technique, and only with the flying escape technique. Weighing. She spreads her hands and summons the Taiji again. The Taiji spins rapidly, increasing the distance between her and Seo Yunhyan once more. 100 li, 200 li. 3,000 li. If it's this much, without the ground shrinking technique. Is it an illusion spell? But contrary to her hopes, when she closes and opens her eyes, Seo Yunhyan has reappeared right in front of her again. How did you get here without the ground shrinking technique? I'm just that fast. Seo Yunhyan reaches out his hand towards Ohaisio calmly. Ohaisio's face turns pale. Even though she's emotionless, she still has desires. From basic desires like hunger, lust, and sleep to the fundamental desire to survive. And as a living being, the fundamental desire to live and the fear that stems from it are naturally present. Ohaisio, overcome with the fear stemming from her desire to survive, gasps for breath and extends her arms. Immortal beast, lustrous glaze peacock. Flash. A pure white light shoots towards Seo Yunhyan. But Seo Yunhyan seems to wrap himself in a hazy mist, and the light of the lustrous glaze peacock scatters uselessly. Ohaisio retreats, continuously summoning the power of the immortal beast. Immortal beast, Yin Ghost Black Turtle. The yin energy of the black turtle, said to command 10,000 ghosts, appears to spread around. But as Seo Yunhyan's 38 orbs of light shine, the yin energy of the black turtle seems startled and tries to move away from him. Immortal beast, mountain-destroying demon ape, white-winged heavenly Pegasus. The power of the white-winged heavenly Pegasus, symbolizing order, and the mountain-destroying demon ape, symbolizing chaos, gathers in Ohaisio's hands. Ohaisio clashes the black and white energies in both hands. Kugwigwagwagwa. The energy of great chaos seems to fill the white space completely. But in the next moment, great mountain. Flash. Splitting emperor. The energy of great chaos disperses and scatters entirely. Immortal beast Azure Peng. Weeyutting. Blue wings appear to burst forth from her shoulder blades, twisting the space around her. At the same time, the Blood Yin Ghost Valley Labyrinth twists, trapping Seo Yunhyan in the distorted maze of space. This is the power of the famous immortal beast Azure Peng, renowned for its spatial labyrinth abilities. Combined with the power of the Blood Yin Ghost Valley Labyrinth, the space is twisted once more, making it impossible to escape in a short time. Quaching. Then breaking through the white space, Seo Yunhyan's hand emerges. Ohaisio. Heh. Ohaisio once again sets up the spatial labyrinth to reseal Seo Yunhyan, then uses the power of the Blood Yin Ghost Valley Labyrinth to put more distance between herself and him. Borrowing the power of the immortal beast supreme tiger, she strengthens her physical body and tries to break through the space to escape outside with the power of the azure pang. However, she turns back at a chilling sound. Dujujujado. A giant with 19 dangling heads and 38 eyes weeping bloody tears, with a body of starlight and black, grotesque flowers blooming all over it, is running towards her. Uyo. Kiala. Hua. The eerie wails decorate the surroundings of the giant. Go away. Finally, Ohaisio's composure crumbles. Go away, you monster. Dujujujado. She summons the images of numerous immortal beasts and throws them at the monster. But it's useless. The yin energy of the yin ghost black turtle is just chewed up. The chaos of the mountain-destroying demon ape is contaminated into a curse. The vanquishing evil and upholding righteousness of the white-winged heavenly Pegasus are devoured by summoned pure white flowers, and the power of the lustrous glazed peacock is blocked by a hazy mist. The azure pang spatial labyrinth is simply broken through, and the power of supreme tiger is ineffective. Dujujujado. Ohaisio, towards the Seo Yunhyan who has suddenly caught up and is reaching towards her, throws the form of the black dragon. But Seo Yunhyan grabs the jaws of the black dragon, tears it apart, and resumes his mad chase after her. Wuang! Something is caught in Seo Yunhyan's grasp. Dangerous, dangerous. He's about to throw something at me, it'll be dangerous if it hits. Sensing the flow of heaven and earth spiritual energy, she realizes Seo Yunhyan is about to throw something ominous at her. It's really dangerous, no. All heavens. Kayak. Seo Yunhyan throws something at her, and Ohaisio screams in agony as if her entire body is being shredded apart. Clench. Finally, Ohaisio is caught in the giant's grasp. I finally caught her. I sigh as I glare at Ohaisio. She looks as if she's about to faint. It seems that the pain from the all-heavens sword cutting through her soul is considerable. All right, now then. I begin to infuse ghostly energy into her body, distorting the space using Ohaisio, who is the center of this area. Kagagugu. This is a space made from borrowing the outskirts of the netherworld, so it should be fully maneuverable with my abilities. Kagagugu. The white space moves. It twists. Sensing my scattered colleagues, I begin to call them one by one. Payet. Jian Myohun is the first to arrive by my side. Next, Kim Yon and Oh Hyun-seok appear in order. Payet. The last to appear is Kang Min-hee. Well, it seems everyone has gathered except Kim Young-hoon. As you all know, Oh Haiseo brought us to this space. She is also the one who tampered with the Black Ghost Valley. The Deputy O. Really? Jian Myohun and Oh Hyun-seok are surprised, and Kim Yon also looks slightly taken aback. Kang Min-hee, however, crosses her arms and clicks her tongue. Let's hear the reason, since she's been a smooth talker since Earth. I look at Oh Haiseo and ask. Yes, I'm curious as well. Just what is the reason for betraying us? Oh Haiseo is an intriguing person. She's always in a calm state, with her intent always being stable. Though her intent, symbolizing emotions, are faint, she doesn't possess a horrifying heart essence like Seo Atrial. To put it bluntly, Oh Haiseo's heart essence is like a desolate desert, different from the filthy wasteland of Seo Atrial or the Mad Lord. That's why, until I was directly attacked by Oh Haiseo, I didn't know her true nature. Though I still don't understand, even now. What exactly is the motive behind her actions, and why did she betray us and join sides with Seo Atrial? In response to my question, Oh Haiseo smiles faintly. Shudder. Ho-ho, as expected, you have been in contact with Miss Haiseo for a long time. Then a bloody light emits from her soul. Chuak. I try to seal Oh Haiseo using ghostly energy, but I realize it's impossible. I'm pushed back by the blood light and end up losing her. This space, it's resonating with this light. As the red light erupts, Oh Haiseo's shadow squirms and becomes Seo Atrial. Seo Atrial gently wraps his arms around Oh Haiseo's shoulders and pulls her into his embrace. Miss Haiseo will be taken back. When I briefly took over her body outside, it turned out her ability itself originates from her soul. She herself is needed. You? Then Seo Atrial moves his hand. Open, tainted soul, deadly gaze. Payet. Blood light looks to spread around, and Seo Atrial's horrifying heart essence spreads through the white space. Everyone, close your eyes and shut off your consciousness. I urgently shout to the surroundings. It's Coatrial's hard essence. Staring at it for too long will make you instantly brainwashed by his tainted soul filling the heavens. That's when it happens. Shudder. The Blood Yin Ghost Valley Labyrinth is a kind of side path using the outskirts of the netherworld. The only difference is that the destination is not the nether ghost realm, but the Blood Yin realm. Kagagugugu. In the distance, a blood-red world can be seen. While I retrieve my axes, you can enjoy a tour of the Blood Yin realm. Ho-ho, it should only take 3,000–4,000 years. I try to resist that blood-red world, but the powerful attraction force continues. There's no other choice, I must jump. I exerted all my strength to break free from the attraction force. Then it happens. Weeyuting. From the hand that had grabbed Ohisio, a peculiar Taiji shape begins to rise, enveloping my entire body like a tumor. This is Coatrial. I grip my teeth. Was this all planned from the start? Be going to the Black Ghost Valley, where the power of the netherworld's outskirts is strong. Ohisio revealing herself and inviting us to this space. The fact that I caught and made contact with her. It seems it was all within Coatrial's expectation. Coatrial holds Ohisio in his arms, looking down at Co Yunhyan, and his colleagues being dragged into the blood-red pit below. Originally, I intended for Miss Hisio to face that monster alone and only send that monster in, but it seems I'll have to send more people than I expected. To think you'd fail to achieve your goal and end up being captured in front of everyone. You're quite incompetent, aren't you, Miss Hisio? At Coatrial's words, Ohisio, nestled in his arms, rubs her head and gives a sardonic smile. You're quite remarkable too, Grand Prince, pretending to use me as bait, ready to pop out at any moment to send my colleagues to another realm. Ho-ho, it's thanks to you, Miss Hisio, for following my thoughts so well. Because of you, I could send that old monster who had long contact with you below without resistance. By the way, how did you do that? Doesn't Miss Hisio's soul contain the power of immortal beasts fused together? It's a spell that draws out the power of Taiji from that fusion to bind the opponent. Would you like me to teach you? You're going to teach it in a strange way again, aren't you? Ho-ho. It's then. Quagwa. An immense giant of starlight reaches out from below, thrusting its hand into the space. It's Ohiansiok. Ohisio, what is this that you've done? Oh my Hyansiok Oriboni, why are you struggling so much? Just go down. What would your father think? Stop this at once. Ahaha, my father. Quajujuduk. And then another giant crawls up next to Ohiansiok. It's a giant of lightning with 6 arms. It's Jian Myohun. Deputy O, is this betrayal? Red lightning flashes continuously from his eyes, and his shadow splits into 6, fluttering around him. But that's not all. Kiyaala. Alila. Uwu. A horde of ghosts numbering in thousands arise, and within their midst is an 8-foot ghost. It's Kang Minhee. You brazen bitch. I knew it ever since you secretly followed your colleague to their houses, that you're a crazy bitch. Ha, Miss Minhee, don't you look crazier right now? Ohisio bursts into laughter as she looks at the 3 monsters. But then she suddenly looks below and flinches. Threads. Pure white threads of consciousness stretch everywhere, tightly binding the 3 monsters and Co Yunhyan, who's about to fall into the Blood Yin realm. Kim Yon is preventing Co Yunhyan's fall by restraining his body. Just wait, let's see when I get up there. Jian Myohun mutters, red lightning crackling from his eyes. To make matters worse, a large centipede springs out of Co Yunhyan's peach garden painting, spewing venom. It's a scene of pandemonium, as if monsters are crawling up from the abode of demons. Coatrial and Ohisio, the 2 beautiful individuals, wear mask-like smiles. Ho-ho, Miss Hisio. Then shall we exert some effort to prevent those monsters from coming up. You won't stab me in the back, right? That will never happen. For now, stay away. Ohisio slips out of Coatrial's arms and begins to prepare a spell. Coatrial also emits a crimson light. Ohisio creates the form of the black dragon among the immortal beasts, and Coatrial creates the form of a giant sea dragon. A majestic scene unfolds, as if 2 divine dragons are blocking monsters from the depths of hell from crossing into the mortal world. Let's go. Coatrial and Ohicio unleash their power upon the monsters climbing up from the abode of demons. A divine light strikes upon the bizarre monsters. // Discord https://dsc.gg/wetread. Link to donations in the Discord. Chapter 338, Old Monsters Rampage 7. Translator, Translating Novice. Editors, Z0rel Blue Mango Aderisnot. Join the Discord for chapter updates and important news. Qua. The dragon's form becomes a streak of light and emits divine energy into the pit below. The form of the sea dragon scatters like a spray of water and covers Seo Yunhyan and his party. Blood sacrifice, ritual Blood Yin returning home. As Seo Atrial forms hand seals, the attraction force from the Blood Yin realm pulling Seo Yunhyan's group intensifies overwhelmingly. Seo Atrial also seems to be affected by the force, but when Ohicio reaches out and shrouds Seo Atrial's body with the form of the black dragon, the effect disappears. Afterward, she unleashes the form of the black dragon again, opening its mouth to spew a black breath downward. Qua. Ohicio, how could you? Ohian Siak, the giant of stars, feels particularly betrayed and tries to rise upward frantically. Kagagugu. Purple primordial chaos boils from Ohian Siak's entire body. The giant of stars Ohian Siak transforms into a colossal figure covered in purple steam. Within the purple steam, Ohian Siak's fierce eyes glimmer ominously. How can you betray your own family? Ohicio covers her mouth with her hand. Suppressing her laughter with all her might, she retorts. Oh, my family, we're not even related by blood, so what family? Ah, that expression is so funny, as expected of such a sentimental clan, the O clan, Cuckoo. Your father raised you with genuine affection. How can you say such things? Haha, that couldn't possibly be true, Hyansiak Oriboni. Father was just satisfying his own ego. I observed father more closely, so why are you acting like you know better? Or do you want to play family? Shall I call you by your proper title, youngest uncle Chinese letter? Ohicio laughs out loud and extends her palm towards Ohiansiak. Kagagugu. The massive form of the black dragon pours down towards Ohiansiak, who ultimately fails to withstand it and falls into the pit below. Kim Yon extends her consciousness again to bind Ohiansiak, preventing him from falling into the Blood Yin realm. Well then, who shall we drop ni? As Ohicio looks down, selecting her next target. Flash. Quarvirung. Kaya. 6 flags made of lightning fly, piercing Ohicio's arms, legs, the back of her head, and her waist. Quadjajik. Black clouds form in the white space, and the flags embedded in Ohicio act as lightning rods, calling forth bolts of lightning. Quadjajik. Lightning furiously rains down. Ohicio screams and tries to escape, but the flags embedded in her body flickers and press her down. Jian Myohun, wielding 6 arms, climbs up from below with a fierce gleam in his eyes. You're quite careless, Deputy O. Thud, 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 thud. Jian Myohun uses his 6 arms to swiftly rise up as he murmurs. I think I always lost when playing poker with Deputy O during work hours. It's my first win. Quang. Jian Myohun finally overcomes the attraction force and emerges from the pit. He then locks eyes with Seo Atrial standing above him. I'll tear you apart when I get up there, wait for it. However, Seo Atrial smiles faintly and strokes his chin. At first I thought you were Taoist Yang's resurrection, but it seems not. If you were Taoist Yang, instead of stabbing Miss Haiseo with spells and frying her with lightning, you would have immediately sacrificed Miss Haiseo's soul to borrow the power of Blood Yin and counterattack me directly. What? Jian Myohun is momentarily stunned by such a vile method and wears a bewildered expression. Seo Atrial smiles gently. Thus, it's more accurate to consider you not Taoist Yang's resurrection, but merely Taoist Seo's pet. What bullshit is this bastard spouting? At that moment, 5 blood-red flags rise above Seo Atrial's head. Go 5 elements blood curse banner. Jian Myohun instinctively feels fear at the sight of the blood-red flags. He had experienced this torturous spell several times from Seo Yunhyan. But he grins wickedly and opens his mouth. Quarrung. Lightning bursts forth and turns Seo Atrial's 5 elements blood curse banner to dust. With just this paltry technique. However, while Cohrial had distracted him with the 5 elements blood curse banner, he approached Ohisio and pulled out all the lightning flags embedded in her body. Huh, I thought I was going to die. You've grown a lot, Section Chief Gion. You used to be a useless burden who did nothing but slack off at work, and now you can do this. You? I won't fall for the same trick twice. Ohisio forms a taiji between her hands. The white space quivers as Jian Myohun's hand, which had emerged from the pit, appears to warp, causing the space itself to split and Jian Myohun to fall downwards. Kagagugu. Immediately, the light of the lustrous glaze peacock strikes Jian Myohun's head directly. Jian Myohun, with a dazed expression, falls downward, and Kim Yon desperately holds him as well. After dropping Jian Myohun, Ohisio looks down at those still holding on. Kim Yon, Hongfan, Kang Minhee. Among them, Kim Yon is holding onto Seo Yun Hyan, Oh Hyanseok, and Jian Myohun to prevent them from falling, and Hong Fan is supporting the struggling Kim Yon. Thus, the only one capable of counterattacking is Kang Minhee. And Ohisio, looking at the black sphere bubbling up from below, breaks out in a cold sweat. I expected this, but that damn thing is the trickiest. Ho, that person is quite an interesting Taoist. Is that the ghostly yin transformation immortal root? No, even without it, she's a Taoist who possesses absurdly high talent. Cohrial reveals his reptilian eyes as he observes Kang Minhee's ominously surging aura from below. If I had known this, I would have brought that cultivator instead of Miss Hiseo. I slightly regret it. Ho. I guarantee it. If it were Miss Minhee, you might have been devoured instead. Ho, impossible. She's not even the Mad Lord or the Heart Tribe. Anyway. Both Cohrial and Ohisio raise their tension, glaring at the crazily intensifying aura of Kang Minhee in the pit. Kang Minhee's aura is growing. Her strength, initially at the early 4-axis stage, grows to the mid, late, and reaches the grand perfection. Kang Minhee is absorbing nascent soul stage Ghost Kings in real time, building an axis made of Ghost Kings. Kagagugu. Above the white space, the black clouds Jian Myohun had summoned do not dissipate but condense further, gathering heaven and earth spiritual energy within. Heavenly tribulation stirs. However, before the heavenly tribulation can properly strike, Kwariru, a torrent of black ghostly energy, surges out of the pit. Kwariru. The ghostly energy pierces the sky. Before the heavenly tribulation can strike, it shatters and scatters in the sky. Cohrial's expression twitches, and Ohisio's face turns serious. What kind of insane? I see. The Blood Yin Ghost Labyrinth is supporting that cultivator. Even with the power of Blood Yin, this is the outer edge of the netherworld. Cohrial's vertical pupils glow red. Such indescribable talent, the possibility of reaching the star-shattering stage. Cohrial strokes his chin, and then smiles brightly. That cultivator, it seems it would be best to capture her. It's too wasteful to throw her as food to Blood Yin. Chua. A dense darkness spreads out from Cohrial. Consume 10 of myself. Kiyeving. At the same time, 10 eyes appear in the darkness, staring directly at Kang Minhee. She screams. Alia. Cohrial laughs with eyes swirling in blood-colored light. Just accept it peacefully. Unless you're a mythical being or someone already broken, you cannot resist me. Cohrial dives into Kang Minhee's heart essence. He smiles faintly. Her heart essence is no different from a small netherworld. How many ghosts are stored here? Yet the ghosts are not going berserk and remain calm. It's unbelievable. Cohrial gradually peers deeper into Kang Minhee's inner self and laughs. I've captured a being with talent of the ages within my grasp. While the power to stabilize ghosts is terrifying, unlike Miss Hiseo, it's not an annoying ability. As Cohrial examines Kang Minhee's heart essence, he suddenly notices something at the center of the ghosts. Him? The ghosts are worshipping it. The overwhelming pressure emanating from that something is what keeps the ghosts calmly obedient to Kang Minhee. Could it be? Chills. Cohrial has a guess on what that something is. And although he merely guesses, without confirming its true form, he hastily tries to escape from her mind. As if he doesn't want to get entangled with that something. However, it's already too late. The entity beyond the something has noticed Cohrial. The something is a whole. Within Kang Minhee's heart essence, there exists a whole connecting to somewhere. How dare you peek at the imperial venerable, Chinese letter. A gigantic will fills Kang Minhee's heart essence. Her heart essence, previously filled with the colors of sunset, is instantly engulfed in darkness. Coatrial's face grows serious as he frantically struggles to escape from Kang Minhee's mind. The oldest and darkest one. The deepest and greatest one. That entity itself shows no reaction. But the one seated at its right hand bears its rage across the whole to punish Coatrial. Boom! Huh! Ohaisio dumbfoundedly looks beside her. It happened in an instant. The head of Coatrial, who had tried to cast a spell on Kang Minhee, exploded. Coatrial's soul staggers momentarily before dissolving into a handful of darkness and flowing down. Tingling. Ohaisio tries to react, but suddenly feels her head stiffen and collapses on the spot. It isn't just Ohaisio. None of those present have a good complexion. Kim Yeon looks as if she is about to vomit, and Hong Fan looks up at Kang Minhee with bloodshot eyes. Seo Yoon Hyan, Jeon Myohoon, and Oh Hyan Seok, freed from Ohaisio's tricks, are also paralyzed with fear, unable to react properly. No, Jeon Myohoon clenches his teeth despite his horror. It's a familiar feeling. Heavenly punishment, it's similar to that time. Ayayag. Kang Minhee screams, clutching her head. A massive entity is trying to emerge from within her and exert their power onto this world. The ghosts beside Kang Minhee wail and merge into one. The unified gigantic ghost king exudes the aura of the grand perfection integration stage. However, instead of showing arrogance, the ghost king slits its own belly in a state of terror. Chwag. From the ghost king's slit belly, a pitch-black banner emerges. With its belly split open, the ghost king, trembling and shedding tears of fear, shouts in a shaking voice. The chief judge has arrived. As the ghost king waves the banner and shouts, the group of ghosts under its command also tremble in fear and bellow in unison. The chief judge has arrived. Kagagugu. Kang Minhee's form begins to change. Surpassing her human form, blue ghost fire erupts from her eyes. Kang Minhee's hair flares out in all directions, undulating. Behind her, a massive shadow envelops Kang Minhee. The colossal entity, from below the pit, gazes at the entrance of the Blood Yin realm, still exerting attraction force on Kang Minhee and Seo Yoon Hyan's group. Leftover of the predecessor, live as befits your name and stop mimicking the noble one. If your actions continue to disgrace the noble predecessor, even if I must endure the imperial venerable's reproach, I will annihilate you. If you understand, hold your breath and shut your filthy mouth. The entrance to the Blood Yin realm abruptly contracts and closes at the will of the colossal entity. The gigantic existence then looks up at the sky and mutters. Beyond the Blood Yin Ghost Valley labyrinth created by Coatrial, the entity seems to gaze into a distant dimension far beyond. Is the mountain about to be defeated? Once again, an imperial throne is being confined. As the gods begin to move, it heralds the return of the era of myths. The pitch-black entity looks down at Kang Minhee and mutters. Since the insect has already noticed, it's best to hasten the awakening. O Imperial Venerable, if we delay, the light will notice. Let us proceed immediately. Finishing its words, the shadow bows and seeps back within Kang Minhee. Ariza. Kang Minhee wails. The colossal entity, which is about to return through Kang Minhee's heart essence, suddenly shifts its gaze to two suspicious beings. Behind the Ohaisio, who is half out of her mind, is Coatrial, pulling her away. And below Kang Minhee, regaining his composure and honing a sword at the plane of soul, is Seo Yoon Hyan. Seo Yoon Hyan is soaring at a fierce speed. Holding the sword of all of the heaven's natural colors, he approaches Kang Minhee, slicing through the darkness. He cleaves the presence of the gigantic existence. At the same time, he blooms a flower of curses while attempting to elevate the curse to the plane of fate, extinguishing divine tribulating heavens. After extracting Ohaisio, Coatrial then casts thousands of eyes into the Blood Yin Ghost Valley labyrinth. Tainted soul filling the heavens. Jidajidajek. Driven by tainted soul filling the heavens, the Blood Yin Ghost Valley labyrinth attempts to confine Kang Minhee. Extinguishing, divine tribulating, heavens becomes the blade to sever the remnants of the enormous entity within Kang Minhee. The enormous entity returns to where it had descended and glares sternly at Coatrial's tainted soul filling the heavens. Sinner, for the crime of daring to behold the sacred visage, Chinese letter, I seal the eyes of your mask for 1,000 years. For 1,000 years, you shall chase nothing but darkness with those eyes. Tens of thousands, no, hundreds of millions of eyeballs behind them are simultaneously obscured by darkness. Sun and moon, heavenly domain. Within the entire domain, everyone who had ever met Cohl suddenly feel an odd sensation and touch their heads. They all feel something rampaging inside their heads, but soon feel as if a parasite in their brains have fallen asleep. They all find it peculiar for a moment, but since it is ultimately a good thing, they move on. Inside the Blood Yin Ghost Valley Labyrinth, the colossal entity looks at Xiao Yunhaiyan. You, who knows righteousness, though I wish to bless you, the Imperial Venerable deems it to be pointless, so I shall only take the calamity you brought upon yourself. Do not forget the heart that thinks of friends and the resolve to repent for your sins. Quajujuduk. The extinguishing divine tribulating heaven spread by Xiao Yunhaiyan shatters all at once as the entity exerts their power, leaving Xiao Yunhaiyan covered in blood. Having completed their task, the gigantic existence fully returns through Kang Minhe's heart essence. And Kang Minhe, now awakened as a completely new being, roars. But Xiao Yunhaiyan does not stop. Despite the extinguishing divine tribulating heavens being shattered and his entire body being crushed, he relentlessly flies toward Kang Minhe. Flash. As if light is swirling, Xiao Yunhaiyan finally plunges the all-heaven sword into Kang Minhe's chest. Please, please. I clench my teeth and look at Kang Minhe. I don't want this life to end this way. But more than that, I hate seeing my precious people getting destroyed by the whims of such colossal existences. Kang Minhe, please, get a hold of yourself. And then, it seems as though rationality is returning to Kang Minhe's eyes. Xiao Yunhaiyan. Payet. In an instant, Kang Minhe's message flows into my mind. What do you? No, don't allow it. Fate is something you can resist. Kang Minhe's lips twitch. He seems to smile sadly for a moment. Ku Wang. As the attraction force distorts, the pit leading to the Blood Yin realm reopens. Kang Minhe pushes me away. Thank you. With a smile, she moves towards the center of the Blood Yin Ghost Valley Labyrinth. She is to be sealed. Ironically, due to the collaboration between Cohl and me, she is willingly sealing herself in the center of the Blood Yin Ghost Valley Labyrinth for hundreds of years, calming herself alone. And as she had conveyed to me, she will follow the fate given to her by the death god. Kang Minhe. I scream, trying to reach her, but I am helplessly sucked in by another attraction force she created. Not just me, but Kim Yon, Jian Myohoon, Oh Hyan Siak, and Hong Fan are all drawn into the new entrance Kang Minhe has created. I'm dragged into the darkness, watching Kang Minhe gradually lose her sanity again. When I open my eyes, I realize I am floating on a pitch-black river. This is. Staggering, I stand up. Strangely, this river doesn't cause my body to sink, and I can stand on it as if it is flat ground. Though my feet sink a little, it's very slight. As I look around with puzzled eyes, I suddenly notice Jian Myohoon, Oh Hyan Siak, and Kim Yon submerged below the river. Master, you're awake. Hong Fan. I'm startled as I see Hong Fan by the riverside. Hong Fan's body is being devoured by a giant carnivorous plant-like creature on the riverside. Master, first rescue your companions. I will get out quickly. You can pull them up using attraction force. Got it. I hurriedly pull up my colleagues, who are submerged at the riverbed. Then, dragging them to the riverside, I check their condition. Fortunately or unfortunately, none of them have any serious issues. But where exactly is this? I slice through the carnivorous plant that's trying to consume Hong Fan and split it apart while looking around. The air is filled not with heaven and earth spiritual energy, but with pitch-black, thick, ghostly energy. It's different from the true devil realm. The eerie silence makes it feel like the side path. Hong Fan reverts to his human form and shakes off the mucus covering his body. Master, let's bring Yonjin out first. Yonjin. Yes, it would be good to ask Yon Weinim where we are. Yon Weinim has a lot of experience and a lot of age, so there's a lot she knows. Good idea. I take out the peach garden painting and bring out Yonjin. As soon as Yonjin emerges, he shouts. Seriously, Senior, everything's good, but why did you take so long to bring me out? Honestly, you forgot about me, didn't you? Sorry. Thinking back, I realize I had forgotten to take Jin out of the peach garden painting since crossing into the bright cold realm. Feeling immensely guilty, I apologized to Jin. Really, if it weren't for the ancestors' words, I would have been playing around at the golden divine heavenly thunder sect, Jiog, Kuig. Jin, who was grumbling, suddenly begins vomiting blood. Jin. Startled, I hurriedly approach him. At that moment, Jin's eyes roll back, and he quickly sits cross-legged, expelling the ghostly energy around him. Seeing Jin's life in danger, I realize that she, inside him, has opened her eyes. You reckless fools, didn't you say you were ascending to the bright cold realm? Why have you come here? Yonwei. Looking at Yonwei losing her temper, I briefly explain the situation. So, you got caught up in a complicated incident in the bright cold realm and ended up here. That's right, do you know where we are? Yonwei rubs her forehead as if she has a headache. Didn't you already guess from the abundance of ghostly energy? This is the Nether Ghost Realm. Realizing my suspicions are correct to some extent, I let out a sigh. We have fallen into the Nether Ghost Realm. // Discord https://dsc gg/wetread. Link to donations in the Discord. Chapter 339, The Deceased One. Editors, Z0rel Blue Mango Adat. Join the Discord for chapter updates and important news. Chapter 339, The Deceased One. I grit my teeth and sigh. The Nether Ghost Realm all of a sudden, Coatrial that bastard. Since everything is ultimately Coatrial's fault, I grit my teeth and blame him. But despite the anger, I can't just stay angry forever. I calm my emotions and start thinking about future plans. Now that I'm in the Nether Ghost Realm, there's no helping it. Let's aim to return to the bright cold realm as quickly as possible, find the disciples of the golden divine heavenly thunder sect, and establish the axis of longevity. Since I can't change what has already happened, it's best to do what I can from now on. Before establishing a plan, I first look up at the sky to read the celestial signs. I intend to gather information by reading the celestial energy, and then move based on that. The Nether Ghost Realm sky is dark blue. Although it seems to be daytime according to the celestial energy, the sky is a dark navy blue, and dozens of bright stars are visible. At that moment, Yonwei suddenly panics and slaps my cheek. Smack! You crazy bastard! Why are you reading the celestial energy in the Nether Ghost Realm? Close your eyes and lower your head. What? Though I'm bewildered, I follow her instructions and close my eyes, lowering my head. What's going on? Damn it, I forgot that you wouldn't know about the Nether Ghost Realm and might act recklessly. Yonwei, exuding an intent of fear, slowly explains. First of all, in the Nether Ghost Realm, you must not look at the sky and try to read the celestial energy. No, more precisely, you can only do such things at night. Is there a reason we shouldn't read celestial energy during the day in the Nether Ghost Realm? I open my eyes in confusion and ask. Yonwei, with a pale face, uses sound transmission to speak, fearing someone might overhear. The stars in the sky during the day are not stars. These things are not stars, you say? Yes, the things shining in the sky right now are eyes. Chills. I understand what Yonwei is saying. Information I had previously heard from Coatrial. Are those eyes, perhaps? Yes, it seems you know. For some reason, the ones above are observing the entire Nether Ghost Realm from outside. Chills run down my spine. Coatrial had mentioned that the entering Nirvana true persons are observing the Nether Ghost Realm to find a side path to the true immortal realm. The things floating in the sky right now are not stars. They are the gazes of dozens of entering Nirvana true persons observing this world from beyond the sky of the Nether Ghost Realm. If I had fallen into the Nether Ghost Realm without knowing anything and kept staring at the sky to read celestial energy, I might have unknowingly become a puppet of an entering Nirvana true person. Thank you, Senior Yon. I sincerely thank Yonwei for her advice. Well, it's common knowledge among the inhabitants of the Nether Ghost Realm anyway. Besides, during the night, the real constellations appear in the Nether Ghost Realm, and their attraction force hides those gazes, so you can read the celestial energy then. At night, the yin energy of the Nether Ghost Realm also thickens, making it harder for them to observe. So I should read celestial energy at night. That's right, As long as you avoid reading the celestial energy during the day, there's nothing too dangerous for someone at your level. With your monstrous skills at the integration level, there's nothing to fear below the esteemed ones. Moreover, all the esteemed ones across the realms are currently on expeditions. I nod and share this information with Hong Fan as well. What a terrifying place. By the way, why aren't my colleagues waking up? I look at my still unconscious colleagues. Although the shock of crossing dimensions is strong, my colleagues with strong vitality should have woken up by now. Could it be there's something in that river? No. Even if the river is lethally poisonous, those at the core formation stage or higher should be able to detoxify it with their life force. The reason your companions aren't waking up is because of the ghostly energy of the nether ghost realm. Thinking back, Yeonjin would have died vomiting blood if Yeonwei hadn't expelled the ghostly energy. If you don't learn the ghost path method, you'll be engulfed by the energy of the nether ghost realm and fall into a comatose state. The longer that state lasts, the higher the chance of death. What, then shouldn't we wake them up? Indeed. However, since your companions haven't learned the ghost path method, you'll need to forcefully teach them the basics of the ghost path method through external stimulation. If they can't handle ghostly energy, they'll fall into a comatose state. I glanced down at Jian Myohoon. And why is this bastard still sleeping? Following my gaze, Yeonwei looks at Jian Myohoon and then grabs him by the collar, slapping him furiously. Smack, smack, smack. Kagog. A while later, Jian Myohoon spits out blood and his eyes snap open. Where is this? So this one was just sleeping. To wake the others, you need to instill them with ghostly energy to implant even the basic ghost path power in their bodies. Yes, I will do so, but first. I briefly explained the situation to Jian Myohoon. The nether ghost realm. Yes, and for now, we need to find the disciples of the golden divine heavenly thunder sect and figure out a way to return to the bright cold realm. What? The disciples of the golden divine heavenly thunder sect are? Jian Myohoon's eyes widen in surprise upon hearing that the disciples are alive. He wipes his face. They're alive. Yes, they are alive. Thank goodness. Jian Myohoon wipes his face and gives a faint smile. After conveying the plan to Jian Myohoon, I approach the other two to wake them up. Yeonwei uses the ghost path method she knows to accumulate ghostly energy in Yeonjin's body. I prop up Oh Hyun-seok and Kim Yeon to a sitting position and place my hands on their backs, infusing them with ghostly energy. Woven. I consider imprinting the basic ghost path method of the Black Ghost Valley I had learned through Seo Lee. But somehow, I feel it wouldn't suit the two of them. In that case. After a moment of contemplation, I decide to create a ghost path method on the spot. For Oh Hyun-seok, I think of a ghost path method that will strengthen his body with ghostly energy. For Kim Yeon, I create one that will train her consciousness with ghostly energy. I infuse ghostly energy into them, according to my intended operations. After a while, the ghostly energy perfectly aligns with both of them, forming a basic ghost path method. It matches well with Oh Hyun-seok's Azure Spirit Starlight Quintessence Great Method, and flows smoothly without any conflict with Kim Yeon's wonderfully mysterious innate heart cannon. Soon as ghostly energy forms within them, they open their eyes. This is. Where are we, Yoon Hyun? I explained the current situation to the two individuals, detailing the precautions in the nether ghost realm, such as not reading celestial energy during the day. Myself, Yeonjin, Hong Fan, Kim Yeon, Jian Myohoon, and Oh Hyun-seok. The six of us discuss our future plans and decide on our goals. Our primary objective in the nether ghost realm is to return to the bright cold realm. Next, Jian Myohoon and I aim to find the disciples of the golden divine heavenly thunder sect. And since we're already in the nether ghost realm, it might be good to establish the 5 blessings axes as well. Yeonwei, with her arms crossed, explains the true orthodox axis foundation, also known as the 5 blessings axes. As you can see, the 5 blessings axes are the proper foundation to establish. They are much stronger than the 5 elements axes. Therefore, why not establish the axis of longevity which can be formed in the nether ghost realm? Yeonwei looks at Jian Myohoon and me as she speaks. Currently, I am at the 4-axis stage. Jian Myohoon is half a step into the 4-axis stage. Kim Yeon and Oh Hyun-seok are at the nascent soul stage, and the core formation stage respectively. Hong Fan is about to enter the 4-axis stage, so there's no need to worry about him. According to Yonwei, one must be at least at the grand perfection heavenly being stage to perform the axis foundation ceremony. Hence, it will be difficult for Oh Hyun-seok and Kim Yeon to establish their axis in the nether ghost realm, even if they want to. Is it really necessary to establish these 5 blessings axes? Jian Myohoon asks, seemingly uninterested. Yonwei replies as if stating the obvious. Of course, the 5 blessings axes are overwhelmingly stronger than the 5 elements axes and are the true orthodox axis foundation handed down from ancient times. Moreover, establishing the 5 blessings axes makes it easier to advance to the integration stage, and once you reach the integration stage, the stability of the domain you form will be on a completely different level. After listening to her, Jian Myohoon thinks for a moment before his eyes sparkle. But Ancestor, didn't you say that establishing the 5 blessings axes takes much longer than the 5 elements axes? And without a thorough understanding of the 5 blessings, it's far more difficult to establish them, practically forcing one to undergo understanding before breakthrough. That's true. On the other hand, if one uses the heterodox axis foundation for the 5 elements axes, it can be established in less than a week. Well, it's not impossible if you have the skills, but are you planning to conduct the axis foundation ceremony with the 5 elements axes? Jian Myohoon nods. If I can establish the 5 blessings axes, I will. But if not, I plan to establish the 5 elements axes and quickly raise my cultivation. And why is that? Jian Myohoon takes out a wooden box from his bosom and strokes it with gleaming eyes. Because I need to quickly become stronger. Crackle, crackle. Subtle red lightning sparks around him, pushing away the surrounding ghostly energy. I need to become stronger as soon as possible, to elevate my cultivation as quickly as possible, to quell this anger. Padajijajik. You said it's easier to reach the integration stage. Even if I roughly establish the axes with the 5 elements axes, I am confident I can reach the integration stage. Stability of the domain. Any instability can be fixed by filling it with heavenly tribulation. Jian Myohoon's eyes spark with red lightning as he steels his resolve. Yonwei, understanding yet slightly troubled, speaks. I understand what you mean. However, the quickest way to return to the bright cold realm is to open a side path like the Black Ghost Valley did. And the easiest way to open a side path is to establish at least 3 of the 5 blessings axes and reach the late 4-axis stage. I'm puzzled by her words and ask, can't we just ask the Black Ghost Valley to help us return to the bright cold realm? If you had come to the nether ghost realm through the Black Ghost Valley side path, that might be possible. But didn't you say you fell here by accident, not via the Black Ghost Valley? If you had come through the Black Ghost Valley, you would have the dream body provided by the nether crossing ship. She clicks her tongue and continues. There are 4 major forces in the nether ghost realm. They are collectively known as the 3 palaces and 1 island, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter. The first is the Black Ghost Palace, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter. It's the main sect of the Black Ghost Valley. It's a sinister and secretive group with a reputation for being extremely closed off. While the branch in the bright cold realm is somewhat lenient in order to quickly expand its influence, the main sect is different. It's said to be extremely closed off due to many hidden secrets. The second is the Underworld Ghost Palace, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter. It's the most widespread force. The Underworld Ghost Palace is the most famous in the Nether Ghost Realm, and its power and influence are immense. Research on ghost path methods and devilish arts are actively conducted there, so the methods that spread from there influence the entire Nether Ghost Realm. More than 80% of the methods in circulation in the Nether Ghost Realm come from the Underworld Ghost Palace. The third is the Flower Painting Western Heaven Palace, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter. In the ghostly energy-filled Nether Ghost Realm, they are lunatics who practice the righteous path method of vanquishing evil and upholding righteousness. Antagonistically in the Nether Ghost Realm, they gather life force and the power of vanquishing evil and upholding righteousness, which is extremely effective against the creatures of the Nether Ghost Realm, making them a very powerful group. Rumors abound that they are connected to the ones above, so it's best to avoid getting entangled with them. And lastly, the Pinglai Island, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter. Hello? I'm puzzled by the familiar name. That name is similar to Pinglai Palace. From what I've heard, Pinglai Island also follows the same mountain god as Pinglai Palace. The Pinglai Island in the Nether Ghost Realm knows about the Pinglai Palace in the Bright Cold Realm, but they have no interest in each other. They share the same name and founder but do not care about each other, making them an unusual group. However, it's known that the Pinglai Island here practices a devilish art rather than the great mountain-splitting emperor technique. Hearing the name Pinglai reminds me of the name I saw within Hun One's heart essence. Jinra Chinese letter. A being with a name that means the net of heaven. The name Pinglai, which exists everywhere in the middle realms, feels like a net to me. If Pinglai is a net, what is it trying to catch? I ponder for a moment. Then it happens. I almost look up at the sky, but remember Yon Wei's warning and stop. What's this? It seems to have gotten darker. Apparently, it isn't just me who feels something strange as Jian Myung-hoon, Kim Yon, Oh Hyun-seok, and Hong Fan also tilt their heads in confusion. Hong Fan asks me, Master, doesn't it seem like everything around us has gotten darker? Yes, I feel it too. I extend my consciousness to check if there are dark clouds, but there's nothing above us. Kim Yon and Jian Myung-hoon also feel uneasy and tilt their heads in confusion. It feels like this whole world has gone a bit darker. Right? Is it just our imagination? Yon Wei also tilts her head. What phenomenon is this? Even the head realm seems a bit darker. Bright Cold Realm. At the summit of Heavenly Lotus Mountain. Above the white jade pavilion, Sacred Master Beak Woon groans with a trembling voice. Kagagugugu. The entire Heavenly Lotus Mountain shakes. Simultaneously, the spiritual energy of the entire mountain starts to flow erratically. No, it isn't just the Heavenly Lotus Mountain. All the mountains in the Bright Cold Realm that Sacred Master Beak Woon is aware of have their energy disrupted. Sacred Master Beak Woon looks up at the sky with trembling eyes and speaks. Has that tyrannical one finally been confined, but the sky has darkened slightly? Does this mean that even they have sustained a critical injury? How could this be? Did that tyrant hide such power? This is a sign similar to when they were cornered by vast cold 500,000 years ago. With a worried expression, Sacred Master Beak Woon bites her lip and adjusts the attraction force of the entire Bright Cold Realm, her eyes gleaming. If they have sustained a fatal injury and gone into seclusion, the protection of the Bright Cold Realm blessed by them will also weaken. We must be even more vigilant. Having said this, Sacred Master Beak Woon re-enters the White Jade Pavilion. The light emanating from the pavilion sweeps across the entire Bright Cold Realm. Is it just a celestial phenomenon? After being on high alert with nothing happening, I finally relax. Yon Wei also loosens her expression. Well, if it's a celestial phenomenon happening on a universal scale, there's nothing we can do about it even if we understand it. Let's not worry and continue our conversation. Anyway, this Nether Ghost Realm is filled with such forces. Each force is extremely wary of each other, and outsiders are always suspected of being spies for the opposing forces. In other words, it's like how everyone in the Bright Cold Realm thinks everyone else is a spy from the Heart Tribe. Exactly. So, abandon the thought of using a side path from the other forces. The best way is for one of us to accumulate the 5 blessings axes and open a side path ourselves. Upon hearing this, Jian Myohoon looks at me and speaks. Then, it's best for you to accumulate the longevity axis, or whatever it is. What? You're the most talented among us. Yon Wei nods in agreement. That's right. You are the only monster here with power comparable to the integration stage, so it's best if you build the longevity axis. Even Hun One took thousands of years to reach the integration stage, but it took you less than 100 years to get there, didn't it? And the attraction force I sense from you. I don't know when you built it, but you've already established the axis of wealth as well. If it's you, you should be able to accumulate the axes and open the side path in no time. With a hopeful expression, Yon Wei pats my shoulder. We have high hopes for you. You are our only hope, Seo Yoon Hyun. On the first day of arriving in the Nether Ghost Realm, under the hopeful gazes of Yon Wei, Jian Myung-hoon, Oh Hyun-seok, Kim Yon, and Hong Fan, I become everyone's hope for returning to the Bright Cold Realm. // Discord https://dsc.gg/wetread. Link to donations in the Discord. Chapter 341, The Deceased 3. Translator, Translating Novice. Editors, Z0rel Blue Mango Aderasnut. Join the Discord for chapter updates and important news. The ghosts of the Nether Ghost Realm all have one thing in common. They crave the body of the living. Even if it isn't the body of the living, they yearn desperately for any vessel that can house their soul, such as the body of a jiangshi or a structure like that of the wall ghost. The reason is simple. They are all ghostly creatures, constantly suffering from the attraction force of the netherworld. There are generally three methods to withstand the attraction force of the netherworld. The first is the simplest, using one's own cultivation to resist. This is only feasible for ghost kings of at least the 4-axis stage. The second is to capture other ghostly creatures and offer them as substitute sacrifices to temporarily reduce one's own attraction force. This is typically done among vengeful spirits who hold grudges against each other, or by particularly cruel evil spirits performing devilish rituals. However, this ritual is often avoided even by those of the devilish path, as each time the ritual is performed, it actually strengthens the death aura of the initiator, increasing the attraction force of the netherworld even further. The third method is to obtain a body, whether it's the city wall of the wall ghost or the decaying flesh of a jiangshi, as long as it's a vessel that somewhat suits them, it will allow considerable freedom from the netherworld's attraction force. Among these, the body of the living is of the highest value. Even a ghost king with a significant amount of death will gain tremendous freedom from the netherworld's attraction force if they possess the body of the living. Although the body will lose its vitality, the ghost can still move quite freely as if they are alive. Of course, as time passes, the body will become more like that of the deceased, but in the nether ghost realm, the body of the living is the ultimate tool for prolonging life. Furthermore, a ghost king who obtains the body of the living can conceal the death surrounding their body within the living flesh, making it less noticeable. However, this old monster before him is carrying an enormous amount of death processed through 19 heads. This much is understandable. After long cultivation in the depths of the nether ghost realm, it's possible to reach such a state. Moreover, if one gazes too long at the sky and is eroded by an entering nirvana true person who mastered devilish arts, it isn't entirely impossible. Though a puppet of such an entering nirvana true person might go berserk at any time, it is still within the bounds of common sense. But a being with such insane levels of death actually possesses the body of a living. What's more, only the appearance has changed. The death aura hasn't diminished at all. This means that he wasn't intentionally revealing the appearance of that ghost king due to the power of his ghost path method, but rather that the aura of death he emits normally is just at that level. This suggests two possibilities. First, this madman had deliberately obtained the body of the living and repeated suicide 19 times to obtain such insane levels of death. Second, he had offered tens of millions of other ghost souls as sacrifices to the netherworld, continually strengthening his own death to reach his current state. Either way, he is quite the madman and malevolent spirit. No, if it's the first case, then the fact that the form of death is so distinct means that the suicide ritual that the old monster underwent isn't some kind of method or ceremony, but actual suicide. Such a thing is impossible unless one is a true immortal or a reaper, meaning he obtained hundreds of bodies of the living and performed suicide rituals with them. Mangal, facing a mad old monster for the first time since becoming the city lord of Black River City, has no idea how to respond. Answer me, Black River City Lord. Why does everyone flee upon seeing my face? Is it that the body of the living is repulsed in the nether ghost realm, or is my face somehow frightening? As the old monster with a serious expression approaches while questioning them, Mangal, trembling, notices something. Just why is he asking me such a question? Wait a minute, this old monster. Does he really not know? Sudden possibility flashes through Mangal's mind. I see. This lunatic must have lost his memory after repeatedly performing dangerous rituals like the suicide ritual. I've heard that one can lose their sense of self while cultivating ghost methods, and this old monster must be a prime example of that. Cautiously, Mangal asks the old monster, "Elder, you wouldn't be thinking of offering me as a sacrifice, would you?" "I have no such intention." That means he's not an evil spirit who offered millions as sacrifices. My assumption is correct. He slightly pats his chest in relief and explains to the crazy, senile, demented old monster before it. He explains the situation to Seo Yun-hyan. ////. So, I understand the situation. Ultimately, revealing the body of the living was the bigger problem. An old monster with 19 heads is an uncommon but comprehensible creature, owing to the peculiarity of cultivation methods and the inherent danger posed by true persons. However, possessing a living body while emitting such a level of death is either the mark of a madman or an evil spirit who delights in offering numerous sacrifices. It seems that getting entangled with the ghost path makes me seem like a mad old monster every time. I also realize why the reactions of ghosts from the nether ghost realm differ from those of ghosts from other realms. In the nether ghost realm, death energy is always suppressed due to the gazes of the ones above. This allows the ghostly creatures in the nether ghost realm to engage in relatively normal activities even in the presence of stronger ghosts. However, it also means that they must judge others based on the form, size, and general aura of death, rather than intuitively sensing death. And to be honest, Elder, the general aura of death around you alone feels significantly dangerous. In short, my very existence is lethal to the ghosts of the nether ghost realm. Damn it, is it better to live with the appearance of having 19 heads dangling? I sigh softly and turn to the city lord of Black River City in front of me to express my gratitude. All right, thank you for the valuable information. While I was in the bright cold realm, this problem never crossed my mind as everyone possesses the body of the living. Even Yon Wei, as a living being herself, doesn't know about this issue and hadn't taught me about it. No, Elder, a person of your stature is undoubtedly a member of the distinguished ghost lineage. It is I who is honored to be of assistance. Mangal bows deeply, smiling. The initial fear he had shown towards me has diminished somewhat, and there is now a faint hope of gaining some benefit by serving me well starting to spark in his eyes. This works out well. This guy seems useful. It wouldn't be a bad idea to have him as a subordinate when forming my force. Feeling a change in the celestial energy, I turn my gaze to the horizon instead of directly looking at the sky. Oh, it's night now. Not the eyes of entering nirvana true persons, but as the true stars emerge in the sky, the yin energy becomes stronger. The night in the nether ghost realm is beautiful. I marvel quietly at the sky filled with yin energy, and the endless starlight that pierces through the yin energy to shine down on the earth. The nether ghost realm is brighter at night than during the day. As the gazes of the entering nirvana true persons are obscured by the attraction force of the stars, there is no longer any need to worry, and I look up at the sky. Then a sudden thought crosses my mind. Wait, they said that death is usually suppressed by the gazes of the true persons in the nether ghost realm. What happens when their gazes are obscured by the attraction force of the stars? And that question is soon answered. It's a great ghost. Mangal, who had been answering my questions with a hint of subtle expectation just moments ago, suddenly loses his rationality, screams madly, abandons his skeletal body and flees somewhere, even leaving behind Black River City. Wuan. I suddenly feel the wall ghost residing in the city walls abandoning its vessel and fleeing away, sensing my death. Sweeping my consciousness across the entire Black River City, I sense nothing. The once bustling Black River City, which hosted a large gathering of a variety of ghosts, has become a desolate ruin, all due to my presence. On my first day in the nether ghost realm, I succeeded in annihilating Black River City. ////. So, you didn't get any information. That is correct. Well, it can't be helped. It doesn't matter much since we have information I gathered. Fortunately, thanks to the efforts of Yon Wei and Hong Fan, Jian Myohoon and Kim Yon, a significant amount of information has been gathered downstream. First, the place we've fallen to is the White Yin Domain. It is an area situated between the territories of the Underworld Ghost Palace and Pinglai Island, making it one of the non-aggression zones between the two factions. Her explanation continues. And there's some good news. It turns out that White Yin Domain contains a crucial element required for establishing the 5 blessings axes. I recall her earlier explanation. There are several essential requirements needed to build the 5 blessings axes. First, a true immortal, or a middle realm that governs the concept of the respective axis. Second, an influence, to gather the materials needed to build the axis. And lastly, the void spirit pond. Naturally, the first and second requirements are either impossible to obtain on our own or too easy to acquire, so Yon Wei wouldn't be making a fuss about them. What she is referring to has to be the last one. So this white yin domain contains a void spirit pond. Hoo-hoo, that's right. I've heard that one of the reasons this place became a non-aggression zone is that both Pinglai Island and the Underworld Ghost Palace had too many useless skirmishes over the void spirit pond in the white yin domain, so they mutually decided to abandon it. The void spirit pond is an incredibly important resource. For forces knowledgeable about the five blessings axes, it's an indispensable site. Even to those unaware of the five blessings axes, it's a valuable resource for easily recruiting genius-level talents from the lower realms, making it an excellent talent acquisition site. However, according to Yon Wei, using the Void Spirit Pond merely as a talent acquisition site is an enormous waste. Of course, I did say it is a waste, but as it functions to sweep up a significant number of geniuses, it is still important. However, the Void Spirit Pond in White Yin domain is quite small, so it hardly serves as a talent acquisition site. Even when it does, it's very rare. Ultimately, both factions declared the White Yin domain as a non-aggression zone due to the unprofitable Void Spirit Pond. If that's the case, it could be useful for escaping the Nether Ghost realm in case of emergency. The reason we fell into the White Yin domain was likely heavily influenced by the Void Spirit Pond. As such, there might be a higher possibility of opening a side path more easily in the Void Spirit Pond than in other places. By the way, if it's not the Underworld Ghost Palace or Pinglai Island, then who is currently managing the Void Spirit Pond in the White Yin domain? I was about to tell you that too. It's jointly managed by the three major Ghost Path forces of White Yin domain: White Vein Gate, Shadow Yin Gate, and Death Corpse Sect. From what I've heard, they are only using it as a talent acquisition site rather than for establishing the five blessings axes, which is akin to putting pearls before swine. Yonwei grins at me, and Jian Myohun alternately. Understand, we need to rip the pearls from the swine and carry out Seo Yunhyan's plan to expand our forces and build the longevity axis. Jian Myohun and I glance at each other, smiling slightly and nod. Let's do it. All the information has been gathered and the plan set. All that is left is to take action. Thus Jian Myohun and I move. ///// White Vein Gate, a sect that practices white bone-related spirit methods. Shadow Yin Gate, a sect that practices Shadow and Ghost King-related methods. Death Corpse Sect, a sect that practices Jiangshi methods. White Yin Domain was a peaceful area managed harmoniously by these three sects. The three sects also took turns using the Void Spirit Pond, and their sect leaders were on friendly terms, so things ran quite smoothly. But peace doesn't last forever. One day, a disturbance occurred in White Yin Domain. A mad old monster with 19 heads and his subordinate dragging 6 shadows appeared and occupied the Void Spirit Pond, the secret site of the three major sects of White Yin Domain. And those vicious ghost cultivators did not stop there. They spread out across White Yin Domain, kidnapping ghost souls and Jiangshi who were living peacefully, forcing them into labor in the area they occupied. The sudden outrageous acts of the old monsters led the three major forces of White Yin Domain to convene an emergency meeting. The sect leaders of the three major forces of White Yin Domain, all cultivators at the 4-axis stage, gathered at the White Vein Gate with serious expressions. The convener of this emergency meeting, White Vein sect leader Beek Rin, began speaking in a grave tone. You all know why I've called you here. Today, we need to discuss the mad old monster who suddenly appeared in White Yin Domain, occupied the Void Spirit Pond, and is causing havoc. We will also discuss the heretical cult he established that is indiscriminately kidnapping the ghost spirits of White Yin Domain to convert as followers, the Wuji religious order, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter. Translator notes, the Wuji, in this context is in direct contrast to the 6 extremes. It basically means non-suffering. /// Discord https://dsc.gg/wetread. Link to donations in the Discord. Chapter 342, The Deceased 4. Editors, Z0 Rel Blue Mango Adat. Join the Discord for chapter updates and important news. Chapter 342, The Deceased 4. The atmosphere in the conference room is tense. The Wuji religious order, the damage caused by that cult is enormous. I've heard that their malicious cult has already captured countless ghosts, Jiangshi, and white bone yakai, turning them into followers. Just what kind of spell are they using? It's obvious from a glance. They must have used some sinister sorcery to brainwash the innocent Jiangshi. Wei Shihan, The sect leader of the Death Corpse sect slams the round table, exuding corpse energy furiously. What use is there in discussing this here? We must immediately capture and punish all the lackeys of that devilish cult who are capturing and brainwashing the innocent yakai right now. The enraged Wei Shihan's attraction force begins to distort the surrounding space. Seeing this, Iamwa, the sect leader of the Shadow Yin Gate, speaks in a calm voice. Dressed in a pitch-black veil, Iamwa reveals a pale white hand from within the shadowy veil, dispersing Wei Shihan's attraction force. Calm yourself, sect leader Wei. Even if we attack right now, it's not certain we can defeat that old monster. What if we lose? That mad old monster might seek revenge on our subordinates. Or worse, the devilish cult might brainwash us with their sinister sorcery, turning us into fanatical followers. So you're suggesting we just sit here and debate like cowards? I'm saying we need to prepare for the possibility of defeat. Watching the two with conflicting opinions, Beak Rin clears his throat. Both of your points are valid. First, we need to figure out how to deal with the followers of the devilish cult, and we also need to consider the possibility of defeat by the unexpectedly powerful old monster. What we need right now is information. It's already been around a month since that old monster occupied our void spirit pond. It may be a short time, but it's not insignificant. This Beak has gathered some information myself, and I intend to share it here. If the leaders of the Shadow Yin Gate and Death Corpse sect have any information, please share as well. Having said that, Beak Rin begins to reveal the information he has gathered. First, the information collected by the White Vein Gate. Our sect was in charge of the Void Spirit Gate when that old monster occupied it. According to the testimonies of our disciples who witnessed the scene, the old monster and his subordinates' devilish arts have these characteristics. Ch Wararuk. Beak Rin takes out a hanging scroll from his storage scroll and spreads it on the table. The scroll depicts a scene of a monster with 19 heads rampaging in the Void Spirit Pond, recorded in the form of a video. The three leaders watch the scene with gleaming eyes. That method. I think I've seen it somewhere before. Beak Rin claps his hands. There's a previous encounter of collaborating with the Yin ghosts affiliated with the Black Ghost Palace. Among the methods they used was one called Ghost Immortal QE Devilish Secrets. The method that Monster uses appears very similar to that Ghost Immortal QE Devilish Secrets. Of course, there are also other peculiar abilities, unique forms and unknown flows mixed in, making it hard to confirm, but there is a high likelihood that this old monster is connected to the Black Ghost Palace. What connected to the Black Ghost Palace? Damn it, does this mean the Black Ghost Palace is targeting the non-aggression zone between the Underworld Ghost Palace and Pinglai Island? There's reason to think so. A murmur of discontent arises from the three leaders. Especially there, look at the subordinate of that old monster spraying black lightning. Their eyes fix on a monstrous figure, spewing black lightning from all over its body. The monster has 6 shadows at its feet. The 6 shadows dance and sing around the monster, continuously spitting out pitch-black lightning. The black lightning emitted by the monster causes the defensive formation deployed by the White Vein Gate, Shadow Yin Gate, and Death Corpse sect to melt like snow touched by fire. Cug of all things, it's lightning energy, which is highly incompatible for ghostly creatures. I don't know how they did it, but refining the lightning of vanquishing evil and upholding righteousness into a curse and using it, it's impressive. Wei Shihan frowns, seemingly in pain from a headache. However, Iamwa seems to realize something and gasps in surprise. That's the 6 Extremes Yin Thunder Body. A devilish art you recognize. Of course, I've faced it in my youth. It's not something created by the main branch of the Black Ghost Palace, but by a branch in another dimension. They interpreted the techniques of a rival sect in that dimension to create it. It was so effective that it spread to the main branch. By refining the lightning of vanquishing evil and upholding righteousness into a curse, it can counter the righteous methods of the flower-painting Western Heaven Palace, and just brushing against it can cause fatal injuries to other ghostly creatures. It's a terrifying technique. Cugm, so they are indeed under the influence of Black Ghost Palace. Beak Rin shakes his head at Wei Shihan's concern. I don't think so. Look at that old monster. Having 19 forms of death in one body, such a thing cannot occur naturally unless he's an insane madman who deliberately obtains bodies and repeatedly commits suicide. So why have such things appeared on that old monster's body? It's simple. He speaks in a voice full of conviction. Although that person might have previously belonged to the Black Ghost Palace, he must have gone insane under the erosion of some entering nirvana true person. Him, a monster eroded by a true person. Yimwa speaks with a worried expression. If that's the case, then what that evil cult worships might be. Most likely a true person. They might be trying to descend the avatar of the true person into this land. Such wickedness, sacred master Uo won't allow it. We can only hope so. The three of them wear serious expressions for a while. After some time, the video showing the old monster's battle disappears, and Beak Rin begins to explain the old monster's combat power, techniques, and characteristics that he has analyzed to the others. This is the information we've gathered and analyzed from the White Vein Gate. Please share your information as well. With those words, Iamwa takes out a hanging scroll from her storage scroll. I investigated the Wuji religious order through the shadow ghosts of the Shadow Yin Gate. There wasn't much time, so I couldn't uncover everything, but I did gather information on the current leadership of the Wuji religious order, their appearances, backgrounds, and roles. She begins her explanation. First, there is the black-white devil ghost Yon Jin, who is presumed to be the military strategist of the Wuji religious order and the concubine of the old monster. Despite being only at the core formation stage, she is often seen by the side of the old monster or his subordinate Jian Myohun, constantly engaging in conversation. Although her cultivation is low, she must be a person of great strategic talent. If we can't assassinate the old monster, our next target should be her. Beak Rin and Wei Shihan imprint Iamwa's words in their minds, their eyes shining. Next are the four great law protectors of the Wuji religious order. The chief law protector, Six Extremes Ghost King, Jian Myohun. As you saw in the recent records from the White Vein Gate, he uses the Six Extremes Yin Thunder body, and additionally employs Blood Crimson Red Lightning. The Red Lightning, in particular, possesses tremendous power and is extremely dangerous to us, making it imperative that we avoid being hit by it at all costs. Even a graze could be fatal, so if we ever engage in battle, he is not someone to face head-on. In particular, it is said that at night, he always sits atop the cult's building, constantly stroking someone's hand. Peculiar indeed. As expected of the chief law protector of the devilish cult, it's a position that cannot be reached by normal individuals. They read through the information, murmuring softly. Dragging 6 shadows, wielding black and red lightning, and caressing the hand of a deceased at night, that is the chief law protector of the devilish cult. Thinking of such a terrifying existence, they inwardly hope never to encounter Jian Myohun. Next are the left law protector, the mysterious bizarre ghost king, Kim Yon, and the right law protector, the soul-extinguishing ghost king, Oh Hyan Siak. We have no information on the right law protector Oh Hyan Siak as he is dedicated to his training. However, Kim Yon is known for her vile role in brainwashing the captured into followers. Any virtuous ghostly creatures who pass through her hands all turn into fanatical devotees of the Wuji religious order. She is undoubtedly an evil spirit skilled in sinister consciousness methods. Such wickedness, she must be eliminated at all costs. Lastly, there is the guardian law protector named Hong Fan. There is no information about him at all. We only just barely managed to learn his name. It is suspected that he is always by the side of the old monster, protecting him, presumably in the position of the cult guardian. Here is the general information about the methods and techniques they use. Yimwa takes out another hanging scroll and unfolds it. With only a short month worth of time, we couldn't uncover much. No, this is more than enough. Excellent work, Shadow Yin Gate leader. The eyes of those who read the information finally turned to the sect leader of the Death Corpse sect, Wei Shihan. Both the White Vein Gate and the Shadow Yin Gate have done excellently. Although I wasn't able to obtain such detailed and high-quality information, I did discover one important thing. Wei Shihan grins slyly as he speaks. That is, there is something suspicious about the cultivation method of the Wuji religious order's leader. With a sinister expression, he raises his finger. First, I had our informants monitor the religious order's movements, and one peculiar pattern emerged. The cult leader, that old monster, seems to normally roam the cult grounds during the day, engaging in some sinister activities with the followers. However, at night, he retreats and locks himself in his quarters, never coming out. Moreover, he surrounds his quarters in thick black curses to prevent anyone from entering. Wei Shihan looks at Beak Rin. Isn't that strange? For us ghostly creatures, the night of the nether ghost realm is a much more favorable time for activity than the day. Considering sect leader Beak's earlier speculation that the old monster might be eroded by an entering nirvana true person, doesn't this lead to an interesting hypothesis? Could it be? Exactly that could it be. That old monster is an old ghost being eroded by a true person, and the source of his terrifying power comes from those true persons above. Therefore, at night, when the gazes of those above are obscured, he shuts himself in his quarters, sealing it tightly with curses to prevent anyone from entering. Indeed. Beekrin and Iamwa's faces bright. In other words, the night is highly likely the old monster's weakness. Therefore, I propose that we all join forces and launch a full-scale attack at night. ////. The depths of the Wuji religious order. In the basement, where the void spirit pond is located. I sit on the cult leader's seat and sigh. How did it come to this? Creak, creak, creak. With the sound of something creaking echoing, two ghostly creatures appear from inside the basement, along with Yon Wei. With a broad smile, Yon Wei excessively bows towards me and shouts. Strategist Yon Wei greets the cult leader. Follower Guak Seung greets the cult leader. Follower Wei Riem greets the cult leader. Following Yon Wei, the two ghostly creatures prostrate themselves before me. I shake my 19 heads with gleaming eyes. Then, putting on a majestic facade, I speak. Are you the new recruits? Why, yes, we have already undergone the procedure by the left law protector mysterious bizarre ghost king. Come closer. Originally Jiangxi, their bodies have been modified into living puppets by Kim Yon. My initial plan was this. I intended to create a sect that would provide bodies to the ghostly creatures of the nether ghost realm who suffer from attraction force due to the lack of a vessel by using the Mad Lord's puppets. The puppets of the Mad Lord were originally designed to cultivate artificial souls, so with some modifications, they could also be used as bodies for ordinary souls. Of course, this plan is possible because it's me, who has studied his puppets for 1,000 years, and the Mad Lord's disciple, Kim Yon. With the puppets of the Mad Lord that seem to be from a completely different era and expertise compared to ordinary puppet masters, the idea was to provide significant comfort to the ghostly creatures. However, Yon Wei's response was more intense than I had expected, and just as she anticipated, the promise of puppet bodies caused every ghostly creature to flock to the Wuji religious order. But originally, I just intended to form a moderate sect or establish a new branch. I had no intention of becoming the leader of such a cult. It was only because Yon Wei insisted that founding a cult would be more effective for building the longevity axis that the Wuji religious order was established. Just what is all this? The Palace of Heavenly Demons was one thing, but a religious order, it's not even a pseudo-religious cult. I complain inwardly as I reach out to the followers kneeling before me. I shall bestow my grace, upon you do not refuse it. Yes, cult leader. We believe in thee. Kiyaving. Circuits emerge on the bodies of the Jiangxi that have undergone the puppet procedure by Kim Yon. At the same time, their bodies are completely modified into puppets. Hue, what is this power? This comfort, the attraction force of the netherworld has weakened. In addition, I pour the Yin Soul Ghost incantation into the circuits of the puppets. The areas that induce pain within the puppet structure and circuits operated on by Kim Yon and I are all dismantled, allowing them to only feel the comfort provided by the Yin Soul Ghost incantation. It feels like a body of the living. Moreover, unlike a living body, the process of becoming a deceased is much slower. Cult leader, we shall carry out our duties with utmost loyalty. Having bestowed my grace upon the two fanatics, I nod. Originally, at the nascent soul stage, the two Jiangxi's cultivation surged upon receiving the puppet procedure, bringing them to the strength of the heavenly being stage. Since this isn't merely a simple circuit installation, but a puppet meticulously crafted by Kim Yon, the resulting amplification rate of power is extraordinary. They will likely possess power comparable to the 4-axis stage when they reach the heavenly being stage. Your precious comrades will be taken care of by the main order. Perform your duties well and ascend once more. Loyalty Chinese letter. The two Jiangxi followers shout their loyalty and leap into the void spirit pond without hesitation. Yon Wei crosses her arms with a satisfied expression. Good, the cult is expanding steadily. I heard that the Wuji religious order has already established a foothold in one of the lower realms. And it hasn't even been a month. It's truly an insane speed. I sigh and revert to my human form. Even so, don't you think this is too much like a pseudo-religion? Nonsense. You are already a splendid devilish cult leader, fulfill your role. But this is all necessary to build the longevity axis. Stop complaining and follow. Just as I'm about to voice my discontent. Well, suddenly, the chair I am sitting on begins to glow. The chair, connected to the void spirit pond, is emitting countless spell characters. Seeing this, Yonwei flinches in surprise, her face lighting up with excitement. Good, we're already getting a bite. Activate it. Well, at Yonwei's words, I sigh lightly and activated the formation in the basement. Pay it. Spell characters hum and float up from the entire basement wall. Sitting on the chair, I focus my mind on the void spirit pond. In the case of the 5 elements axes, all one needs to do is gather materials and perform a ritual at the plane of Qi. And those materials are simply ordinary attributes. For instance, for the water attribute, one can extract the inner core of a water-dwelling demon beast or the nascent soul of a human who has mastered a water attribute method. Then how does one gather the 5 blessings axes? The method of gathering the 5 blessings axes is quite troublesome. First, it's advantageous to have a large force that extends even to the lower realms. Then, through that force, you spread a ritual that borrows the power of a 4-axis stage cultivator across the lower realms or other various regions and areas. When this ritual is activated in those other regions or areas, or the lower realms, the 4-axis cultivator building the 5 blessings axes connects to that ritual using the power of the middle realm. With my eyes closed, I extend my consciousness into the void spirit pond. Pay it. Using the world known as the nether ghost realm as an intermediary, my consciousness stretches to places it normally can't reach. Passing through countless stars, spaces, and dimensions, my consciousness extends to a planet in the astral realm. Regaining my senses, I find myself facing the spirit of a human from that certain planet. He is a blood-soaked young man who suddenly screams as if he would faint upon seeing me. A cultivator at the Qi building stage, it seems. It appears that my Wuji religious order has successfully taken root on this planet where this cultivator resides, spreading the ritual that connects to me well. Thanks to only dispatching followers at the heavenly being stage, the ritual is spreading quickly. Heart essence world. I sigh as I watch this cultivator screaming wildly while staring at me. Thinking about it, it's hard to even be looked at directly upon reaching the 4-axis stage by those who have not reached the nascent soul stage. Moreover, upon closer inspection in this cultivator's heart essence, I am only represented as a shadow of immense power. Well, if I reveal my true form, it wouldn't end with just screaming. If a Qi-building cultivator were to directly see my true form, it wouldn't just be a matter of facing a great ghost. They might indeed suffer considerable injuries. Adjusting my presence, I ask the cultivator, "Did you call for me?" Inside the heart essence world, the Qi-building stage cultivator, drenched in cold sweat, speaks to me. "O Great One, I performed the ritual to summon you. Can you grant my wish?" I look at him and ask, "Do you desire power?" "Yes, please grant me power, the power to avenge my family." I extend my consciousness beyond the heart essence world of the Qi-building cultivator before me and survey the surroundings. He is in a pitch-black cave, performing the ritual and connecting with me while unconscious. Beside him lay a ritual book titled Wuji Ghost King Ritual Scripture, containing the rites to offer the ritual to me. Throughout the cave, strange spell characters, symbols of the nether ghost realm, and symbols representing me are scattered. Extending my consciousness outside the cave, I hear shouts and cries of, "Catch the escaped rat." His clan must have been destroyed by another force, and he's asking for the power to escape here and take revenge. Refocusing my consciousness back to the heart essence world, I ask the man before me. Power comes at a price. Anything, I'm ready to offer anything. Truly, gathering the 5 blessings axes is unpleasant. Although it's necessary for our circumstances, I ponder whether this method is truly right and ask, "Even something precious to you?" "Yes, yes, I will give anything, just grant me the power." Reaching out my hand to the man before me, I speak. Using the nether ghost realm as an intermediary, I form a contract. The contract will be established. Is this method truly right? This is the way to gather the 5 blessings axes. Taking something precious from the other party, processing it with the power symbolizing the corresponding blessing from the middle realm, and thereby obtaining the concept. After making the contract with the chi-building cultivator, I occupy his body and head outside to resolve his immediate issue. Kagagugu. Outside, everything is ablaze, and dozens of chi-building cultivators are burning the entire area while searching for something. There it's the escaped bastard. Catch him. Catch and kill him. And a few chi-building cultivators spot me and fly toward me. Haha, this clumsy guy. Did you somehow manage to escape and succeed in reaching chi-building? Even so, it's only the first constellation of chi-building. Here, we have a renowned elder who is one of the 12 great chi-building masters of the Menjian continent. Feel the power of a chi-building master. Translator notes, mysterious bizarre is the same word in the raws as wonderfully mysterious. I thought mysterious bizarre fit the meaning better in this case. // Discord https://dsc gg/wetread. Link to donations in the Discord. Chapter 343, The Deceased 5. Translator, Translating Novice. Editors, Z0rel Blue Mango Aderisnut. Join the Discord for chapter updates and important news. There's no need to kill them. I slowly draw the attraction force of my main body through this physical body. I'm merely lending this guy power, and whatever he does with it is his own business. There's no reason for me to directly intervene in his personal grudge. Through attraction force, I gather energy to form a barrier. Although it's hastily made and crude, it's enough to prevent the chi-building master guy from breaking through. Kug you, what kind of sorcery is this? Scarlet flames pound against the barrier. What spiritual root does this guy have? Water and metal, but he hasn't mastered both, only reaching chi-building with basic water attribute methods. Ignoring the old man who's waving a fire staff and spewing flames above my barrier, I vibrate the spiritual energy within his body. The celestial energy guidance of the heavenly being state is ultimately an inferior version of the 4-axis stage's attraction force. Using water attribute spiritual power as a medium, attraction force manifests on the plane of chi. Kagagugu. In an instant, the sky begins to darken. Noticing something unusual, the nearby chi-building stage cultivators look up at the sky. Rain. And as I stretch my hand toward the sky, rain begins to fall. Torrential rain starts pouring over the area that has been blazing all around. I fix the phenomenon of celestial energy in the sky. For 7 days and nights, rain will probably fall over this land. Only then does the 12th great chi-building master seem to notice something strange, his eyes widening. W8, your eyes are flipped. Yes, welcoming deity Chinese letter, you're borrowing power from a higher entity. I move the man's body to look around at the chi-building cultivators. They flinch and avoid making eye contact with me by looking down, but then they all suddenly get startled. That shadow. It's turning into a monster with 19 heads. Everyone stay quiet. The 12th great chi-building master, indeed seeming more perceptive, doesn't act rashly. He forms hand seals and speaks. You hui, in the end did you offer your body to such a malicious entity? Get a hold of yourself. Perhaps it's part of a technique. As the chi-building master's voice echoes, I feel a stimulation in my consciousness. A type of consciousness method is it. He's trying to reach the person I've possessed. With my consciousness, I could have prevented the voice from being conveyed, but I let it pass through. Soon after, I feel the consciousness of the man, whose body I have taken slightly awakening. Yu Hui moves his lips and laughs. What's the matter, old man? Keep attacking. I have successfully connected with a great being and am borrowing their power. Kug, you fool. This is merely a matter between your clan and ours. How could you borrow the power of such an evil, otherworldly entity? The old man furiously rebukes Yu Hui with anger that reaches the sky. Come to your senses. Are you really going to bring otherworldly power into this land? What does it matter? If it's land I can't have anyway, it doesn't matter. Kug, did you bring that otherworldly entity here without even knowing what it might do? I won't do anything extreme. I inwardly clear my throat and speak. Let's end the chatter, leave now. I reverse the attraction force, converting it to repulsion. Kugyu Hui, think carefully, that being is an evil entity from another world. Most of the chi-building stage cultivators are flung hundreds of li away, but the chi-building stage master endures to the end, shouting. Judging by his intent, he seems to be genuinely afraid and worried about the presence of me. Do not trust otherworldly beings. I'm saying this not just as your enemy but as a cultivator of the Menjian continent. Those entities are evil, vicious, and have no tears or mercy. I'm not that bad, though. They are beings that must never be dealt with carelessly. I apply a bit more repulsion force, and eventually, the chi-building master can no longer hold on and is sent flying. Not only the chi-building cultivators, but even the chi-refining cultivators causing trouble in the area all flee. I observe Yu Hui's physical body. If it's me, I could immediately elevate him to the nascent soul stage, but just by forcefully infusing heaven and earth spiritual energy, that much is possible. But I click my tongue while looking at Yu Hui's soul. If I do that, his soul will shatter instantly. It's already on the verge of breaking just from coming into contact with a strand of my consciousness. Elevating him to even the core formation stage will be difficult. Woven. The best I can do is give him a blessing by activating his energy pathways, making it easier for him to achieve the 28 stars of chi building. I shall take my leave now, and I will take my payment for lending you my power. When it comes to the integration stage, or star-shattering stage, they say you can receive much more diverse compensations after lending power. However, for ordinary 4-axis stage cultivators, the compensation one can receive is limited. The 5 blessings are longevity, wealth, health, love of virtue, and acceptance at fate's end. Why does longevity come first among the 5 blessings? The reason is simple. Longevity is the most basic resource for building the 5 blessings axis. To accumulate the axis of longevity, one must receive something precious related to lifespan. So I take their lifespan directly. The axis of wealth requires something precious related to wealth. And since the longer the lifespan, the more opportunities there are to accumulate wealth. Lifespan is also related to wealth. The same goes for the axis of health. Health is life force, which is related to lifespan. Although love of virtue is a bit different, it can also be obtained through lifespan. Therefore, those who build the 5 blessings axes usually take just the lifespan from the majority of people. Of course, the vast majority would take all the remaining lifespan at once after lending their power, but I can't bring myself to do that and only take 10 years of lifespan. Woven. When I open my eyes, the void spirit pond glows brightly with auspicious energy shining within. It's Yu Hui's lifespan. Following Yon Wei's instructions, I place Yu Hui's lifespan into the formation and offer a simple ritual. O realm Chinese letter of nether ghost Chinese letter, I offer the cherished lifespan of a being. Please bestow upon me the blessing of longevity Chinese letter. Woven. The nether ghost realm responds, accepting Yu Hui's lifespan. Simultaneously, ghostly energy moves and lodges itself as a ray of light in one corner of my dantian. Pay it. This is. Should I call it a very small tower? Or rather a toothpick? Such a small stick-like object settles next to the axis of wealth in a corner of my dantian. This is the foundation of the axis of longevity. It seems like I'll need to repeat this process about 1,000 times to complete the longevity axis. 1,000 times. One will need to receive a lifespan totaling 10,000 years to establish the axis of longevity. I contemplate deeply while sitting. Taking 10,000 years of lifespan from someone, even if it's little by little, is this really the right thing to do? As I ponder, Yon Wei clicks her tongue in displeasure. I see you only took about 10 years of lifespan. What realm was the person who borrowed your power? He was in the chi building stage. What? If you took all the remaining lifespan, it would be 300 years. Where did you squander 300 years worth of lifespan to only bring back 10 years? Yon Wei grumbles, as if feeling wronged. Well, is there really a need to go that far? What do you mean, is there a need? It's a fair trade they agreed to. Fair? Indeed, it might seem fair at first glance if they agreed. But I still don't like this method, and I had decided to take the minimum lifespan needed to accumulate the axes. I nod, letting Yon Wei's nagging go in one ear and out the other. Understood, I'll think about it next time. You rascal, you're not really listening to me, are you? Egu, she mutters angrily and starts to leave the basement. At that moment, Kagagung, hem. Suddenly, the entire Wuji religious order shakes. I quickly transform into my Ghost King form and sharpen my senses. Yon Wei glares upward from the basement. Ho ho, it seems intruders have arrived. Hem. I'm about to go out and deal with them immediately, but then I remember it's almost night and sit back on the chair. Stay seated. I'll go take a look at which great fools have intruded. The law protectors will handle them well, so don't worry. At her words, I create a gang sphere clone to assess the situation while I wait. I hope they don't reach this room. /////. Kagagugu. Wuji religious order. Within the training grounds of the cult's followers. 3 figures appear. Beak Rin, the White Vein Gate leader, with a body made of white bones. Yimhua, the Shadow Yin Gate leader, wearing a veil of shadows. Wei Shihan, the Death Corpse sect leader, emitting green corpse energy from his entire body. The 3 cultivators at the 4-axis stage step into the training grounds, shuddering. Such wickedness, what have they done to the kidnapped ghostly creatures? Before their eyes, a few ghostly creatures trapped inside puppets are visible. Each ghostly creature has their own specially crafted puppet or curse doll, making them all have somewhat eerie, grotesque appearances. Stuffing ghostly creatures into those narrow, suffocating curse dolls, one can clearly guess the insane cult leader's hobbies. Yimhua shouts in a voice filled with rage. They look hideous and terrifying. What kind of twisted mind thought of making such horrid monsters? Wei Shihan screams as he looks at a puppet resembling General Seo. Then the ghostly creature inside the puppet, resembling General Seo, shouts back in fury. You bastard! How dare you insult the puppet with the form that our cult leader treasures the most? Wait, you are surely the Bone Sanctuary sect leader under our White Vein Gate, are you not? Beak Rin recognizes the ghostly creature's voice and is startled. The puppet resembling General Seo, the Bone Sanctuary sect leader, nods. That's right, I was the Bone Sanctuary sect leader. Have you no pride in your sect? How could the leader of a sect betray their superior sect and become the pawn of a devilish cult? Pride in the sect. I used to have something like that, but my thoughts changed after joining the Wuji religious order. Pride, or whatever the such, even the Bone Sanctuary secrets we teach our disciples is nothing but trash. To truly provide a satisfying life to the sect's disciples who desire a peaceful life, it is most important to join a force that provides good welfare benefits. What kind of welfare did you provide to the sects under your control? Did you not give any benefits? You only took our tribute without offering anything in return, only exchanging promises of protection in times of crisis. Instead of being loyal to you exploitative scoundrels, I have chosen to be loyal to the Wuji religious order, which provides the best welfare, benefits, and a satisfying quality of life. What is this nonsense? You've completely lost your mind under the Wuji religious order's brainwashing sorcery. Beak Rin can only lament the vile acts of the cult as he looks at his former subordinate who has become a fanatic. Step aside. Even though you've become a brainwashed fanatic, I can't kill my former subordinate. I'll give you a chance. Former subordinate, my foot. Now that the slave you used to exploit is seeking welfare benefits, you call them a brainwashed fanatic. You filthy exploiters, let's settle this here and now. The Bone Sanctuary sect leader roars in anger at Beak Rin's words. Come here now. Kagagugu. Kagagak tagag tagag tagag. At the same time, the ghostly creatures given puppet bodies by Seo Yunhyan gather at the command of the Bone Sanctuary sect lord. In an instant, the western training grounds of the Wuji religious order is filled with countless cursed dolls. The 3 4-axis cultivators look at the myriad cursed dolls, blocking their path with tense expressions. With pale skin and white bones, not the sturdy bodies of Jiangxi, but the stiff, lifeless bodies of puppets. Moreover, they can't control their expressions at will and always wear the same face, making them appear eerily bizarre. As they look at the pitiable ghostly creatures that have turned into puppets, their eyes burn even more intensely. But then Wei Shihan looks up at the sky. Look here, Beak Rin Yimhua. What is it? We don't have much time. If we dawdle here with these creatures, it will eventually become daylight, and the cult leader will descend upon this place. Then, Wei Shihan's eyes shine as he looks at Beak Rin and Yimhua. I'll hold them off. You two go to the cult leader and cut off the root of this evil cult. Wei Shihan. Go on ahead. As Wei Shihan steps forward, his body begins to enlarge. Kagagugu. The corpse energy emanating from his body turns into fur. Wei Shihan transforms into a monstrous beast and roars. Guarija. Wei Shihan, now in his beastly form, blocks the cursed doll army, and Beak Rin and Iamwa steal their resolve, their voices trembling. Wei Shihan. Hurry, let's go. This is a precious opportunity created by sect leader Wei's sacrifice. Beak Rin leads Iamwa quickly through the training ground, entering the interior of the cult. Though Iamwa seems listless at first, she soon regains her energy and runs alongside Beak Rin. How far have they run within the cult? The two ghostly creatures suddenly notice something odd. Wait a minute, sect leader Beak, the surroundings. I see it's a formation. Pay it. Before they knew it, they were running through a fog-covered grassland. I'll break the formation, you keep watch. Understood. Just as Beak Rin forms hand seals to break the formation. Step, step. Someone enters through the mist. Who goes there? Iamwa shouts, eyes wide at the figure emerging from the mist. And the figure who appeared from the mist. A woman dressed in light pink palace attire, Kim Yon, greets them demurely. Hello, I am Kim Yon, the left law protector of the Wuji religious order. Kug, the mysterious bizarre ghost king. To think we'd run into the most wicked, vile, and cunning being. Beak Rin and Iamwa are taken aback, and Kim Yon smiles faintly at them. You two cannot pass through here. Beak Rin and Iamwa look at each other and nod. We know you are the one responsible for the brainwashing in the Wuji religious order, but that means if we subdue you, we can find a way to break the brainwashing of the innocent ghosts. Beak Rin says, looking at Kim Yon with a solemn voice. We will defeat you and free everyone from their brainwashing. // Discord https://dsc.gg/wetread. Link to donations in the Discord. Chapter 344, The Deceased Six. Editors, Z0rel Blue Mango Ada. Join the Discord for chapter updates and important news. Chapter 344, The Deceased Six. Woven. Kim Yon focuses her consciousness with her eyes shining. In front of her are a shadow and a white bone undead. Seeing the two at the 4-axis stage, she assumed a stance. She has just recently risen to the heavenly being stage. Reaching the realm of heavenly being requires immersion in one single concept. So what emotion is she immersed in? If she had not heard the truth from Seo Yunhyan, she might have vaguely felt that this emotion is love. But after hearing the truth and reflecting on her feelings, Kim Yon realized that the emotion is not love. Then what is this emotion? Kim Yon ponders. This emotion is directed towards Seo Yunhyan. But it isn't simply love. Then just what is it? A name. This emotion needs a name. Moreover, this emotion holds the heart of the Mad Lord. And this emotion carries a longing for home. It holds loyalty to her colleagues. To organize her heart. Decide her attitude towards her master. To further solidify her longing and loyalty. Kim Yon wants to name this emotion. By the way, it's surprising. That infamous, mysterious, bizarre ghost king turns out to be only at the heavenly being stage. Iamwa and Beak Rin each take out their dharma treasures. Kim Yon remains silent and concentrates her consciousness. She recalls the time when Seo Yunhyan taught her martial arts in her dreams. Yona, your talent in cultivation is much higher than mine, but your talent in martial arts is similar to or lower than mine. Hyok, then what should I do? I need to master martial arts to have a chance to escape. Don't worry, I was also a dullard, so I'm confident in teaching you first. At that time, Seo Yunhyan told her. Let's endlessly repeat the paired wing dance. Pardon? It might feel a bit tedious, but for those without talent, endless repetition is the shortest path to reach the realm. I know from experience. Since that day, under Seo Yunhyan's guidance, she endlessly practiced the martial art called the paired wing dance. Oddly enough, the paired wing dance she learned is quite similar to the movements of the Mad Lord's her. Simultaneously, it resonates somewhat with her wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon, creating a phenomenon where mastering the paired wing dance actually aids her cultivation of the wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon. At first, it was so boring she felt she was going crazy, holding a fan and endlessly repeating the same movements. Of course, at that time, it was far better than being with the Mad Lord, so she gratefully followed the instructions despite not particularly liking the activity. But even that boring activity, as she mastered the paired wing dance and reached a certain realm, began to fade from her memory. The true essence of the paired wing dance is not merely about dancing with a fan, it's about the movements connecting. As long as the beginning and end connect, the lost strength is somewhat restored. That is the true essence of the paired wing dance. As long as the beginning and the end connect, it doesn't matter if she holds a fan, a spear, stands on her head, or spins like a top. But paired wing dance itself lacks offensive power. Therefore, she secretly learned a new martial art behind Seo Yunhyan's back. Surung. Kim Yeon lowers her hand. At some point, 4 hidden weapons appeared in her hand. Alongside the paired wing dance created by Seo Yunhyan, she learned a new martial art taught by Hong Fan. She kept it a secret from Seo Yunhyan. Lady Kim Yeon, this martial art is a combination of the dragon form soaring claw and the fighting monster hidden weapon technique. While paired wing dance is well suited to train your wonderfully mysterious innate heart cannon, for direct combat, this martial art will likely enhance your power significantly. Ah, thank you. No need for formalities. I'm younger than the lady after all. Ah, yes, still I will use formal speech. So what is the name of this martial art? It doesn't have a name. Hong Fan demonstrated numerous martial arts before Kim Yeon. Based on the martial arts taught by Master, I created, evolved, and combined various martial arts, including fist techniques, kicking techniques, spear techniques, sword techniques, fan techniques, claw techniques, and more. But I haven't named any of them. Why is that? Why indeed? I think names are meaningless in martial arts. Maybe I'll name them after integrating all these martial arts. That's impressive. Does Yunhyan Oppa know about these martial arts of yours, Hong Fan? It's a secret from Master. I want to surprise him later, haha. The demon beast of Seo Yunhyan with fearsome talent, Hong Fan. The paired wing dance learned from a self-proclaimed dullard, and the martial art learned from a genius. Wowung. Inside the formation, Kim Yeon's consciousness fills the entire space. Under the pressure of her consciousness, Baek Rin and Eumwa's faces darken. This is the consciousness of a heavenly being. Unbelievable. Could it be that the mysterious bizarre ghost king is a 4-axis cultivator whose cultivation fell? Kim Yeon lightly smiles and raises her hand. It appears you have the leisure to speak. Bo-young. The next moment, Kim Yeon's fingertips sweep toward the 2 ghostly creatures. Quang. The 4 hidden weapons fly like the claws of a huge beast, slashing through the air. Kim Yeon's attack, possessing the consciousness of an integration stage cultivator while at the heavenly being stage, amplifies wildly within the formation filled with her consciousness. Kug just what is? Baek Rin blocks her attack with a Dharma treasure and takes a sharp breath. Kim Yeon lowers her hand. From her fingertips, threads of consciousness flow out, merging with the chi and forming a somewhat substantial chi thread, Chinese letter. The chi threads are connected to the 4 flying knives she has drawn out. Kug, what is that sorcery? Baek Rin exclaims with a terrified expression, and Kim Yeon lowers her other hand as well. Chaling. From her other hand, 4 more flying knives connected by chi threads dangle down. She takes a step forward, swinging the knives connected by the threads. Well, let's call it a claw technique, Chinese letter for now. Huwung. Quagwagwagwing. Like the swing of a gigantic claw, a total of 8 slashes fly towards the 2. Then Kim Yeon begins to dance. Her dance, scattering countless slashes, appears more beautiful than anything else. Quagwagwagwing. The formation begins to shake, unable to withstand the slashes. A gap appears in the formation, creating a chance for Baek Rin and Eumwa to escape, but they can't think of escaping. Even though there's a gap in the formation, there's no gap in her domain. Whenever Kim Yeon's flying knives or claws are swung, slashes scatter. But the slashes also connect again. The slashes continue endlessly, without exhausting their power. Originally, the martial art called paired wing dance was just a technique similar to Seo Yunhyan's endless mountains beyond mountains. But when the capabilities of a heavenly being are added to such a paired wing dance, another characteristic emerges. Kugagugug. Due to Kim Yeon's celestial energy guidance, heaven and earth spiritual energy is drawn towards her. While unfolding the paired wing dance, her energy consumption is almost nil, and as more heaven and earth spiritual energy is drawn to her, her strength only increases. The result is a monstrous technique that grows stronger the more it is performed. The two ghostly creatures grit their teeth, unable to find a gap in the increasingly powerful storm of slashes. Cug, we can't be defeated like this. Behind us lies the will of countless ghostly creatures of the White Yin domain. We can't lose to a devilish cultist who brainwashes and forcibly subdues the hearts of others. Kim Yon chuckles at their words. What do you mean by brainwashing? That's nonsense. Our Wuji religious order adheres to an exemplary and progressive working schedule, not exceeding 40 hours of labor within 7 days, with fair wages paid monthly. We have gained the hearts of our followers through proper welfare and benefits, not by brainwashing. Cug, I don't understand what language you're spouting. It's the words of a wicked devilish cultist. Do not be shaken, sect leader Beak. Cugagugagugu. However, along with that, countless slashes merge into one, shooting towards the two 4-axis stage cultivators. Kuwerg, what monstrous power! What kind of output of power is this? Normally, when martial artists and cultivators fight, martial artists use superior techniques to break through the cultivators' spells, and cultivators crush martial artists' techniques with overwhelming power. But now, a strange scene is unfolding. Kim Yon's martial arts, influenced by her integration stage consciousness, are pushing the cultivators back with overwhelming power. Beak Rin and Hua use all kinds of techniques and spells, looking for an opening amidst Kim Yon's slashes. Over there's a gap. Quick escape. Hua and Beak Rin gather their strength. The two ghostly creatures combine their power. A massive white bone-shaped mass of energy forms, a dark shadow covering it from above. The gigantic black bone-shaped energy flies towards a point in the formation. Beak Rin recalls the white bone undead, who enjoyed their labor with good-natured expressions. Hua remembers the innocent ghosts, who always regarded obedience and submission as virtues. The two ghostly creatures clasp hands, praying for the peace of the White Yin domain as they draw out all their power. Taya, Hala, Flash. Finally, the two ghostly creatures manage to escape from the realm of the malicious, mysterious, bizarre Ghost King before being swept away by her slash. Cugagugu. Watching the collapsing formation from behind, the two hurriedly run towards the center of the Wuji religious order. The devilish cult leader, Wuji Ghost King, is their target. Hyuk. Beak Rin and Hua run, panting heavily as if they are alive. That place over there. The residence of the Wuji Ghost King, the Wuji religious hall. The two arrive at a building covered entirely in dark curses and gasp for breath. As expected of the devilish cult leader, he wrapped the entire building in curses. Just by looking at it, one can tell it's a wicked curse. Break through it quickly. The two ghostly creatures summon forth their strength and hurl their dharma treasures at the building. Quagwagwang. An explosion and a cloud of dust rises up. But what they see next makes Beak Rin and Hua shudder. A large figure is blocking their two dharma treasures in front of the Wuji religious hall. Is that the soul-extinguishing Ghost King? It's the right law enforcer. And then the dust cloud settles. Wait a moment. You are. However, after the dust cloud settles, the two ghostly creatures are shocked to discover the identity of the one blocking their dharma treasures. The one who blocked their treasures is Wei Shihan. Death Corp's sect leader, what are you doing? Wei Shihan, could it be? Wei Shihan smirks and raised his arm. We yutting. Bizarre circuit on Wei Shihan's body begins to glow. Sorry about this. I was originally going to leave this to the mysterious bizarre Ghost King or the Six Extremes Ghost King, but the mysterious bizarre Ghost King let you escape, and the Six Extremes Ghost King has other matters to attend to. Beak Rin and Hua look at Wei Shihan in bewilderment. Haha, don't look at me like that. I needed to pretend to sacrifice myself and push you deeper into the order to ensure you can't escape. The two ghostly creatures grind their teeth. Come to think of it, this guy was the one who suggested attacking the devilish cult leader. You led us into a trap. Ha, I received the cult master's grace. It was truly magnificent. Also, after looking around the Wuji religious order, I found their welfare to be better than ours. I simply made the right choice to provide a better quality of life for our sect's Jiangxi. Woeng! Wei Shihan shouts as his circuit glows. Here, look, Originally, I am only at the mid-4-axis stage, but after receiving the mysterious bizarre Ghost King's procedure and the cult master's grace, I've gained power comparable to the grand perfection of the 4-axis stage. Ha ha ha. Kug, just what are you talking about, Wei Shihan? Weren't we supposed to establish justice in the White Yin domain together? Justice? Justice is providing good bodies and advanced welfare to the frail, ghostly creatures in Jiangxi. The Wuji religious order is justice. You should join the Wuji religious order too. You've come this far anyway. There's no way for you to escape now. Woeng. Boasting the glowing circuit on his body, Wei Shihan extends his hand to the two ghostly creatures. I'll make a proposal. Since you can't escape, as the one given the position of guardian ghost king of the Wuji religious order, I'll give you a chance. I'll allow you to tour the Wuji religious order and fully experience it. After the tour, decide whether to join. I'm serious. The future of the White Yin domain is the Wuji religious order. Beak Rin and Iamwa speak furiously. That's absurd. How can you expect us to trust the wicked devilish cult that brainwashes countless spirit creatures? So sect leader Wei, you've been brainwashed too. Tusk, foolish. Does not everyone say in unison? It's not brainwashing but positive change due to truly touching the heart. Beak Rin, burning with ghost fire, raises his voice. My friend, how deeply have you been brainwashed? We can't communicate. Fine. Then I'll personally make you kneel and understand the truth. Weiying. Circuits on Wei Shohun's body burns brightly. The three ghostly creatures lunge at each other. Woeng. Kim Yon lost track of the ghostly creatures, but she continues to form hand seals without a care. That's right, you're doing well. Next to her, Yon Wei is instructing Kim Yon. Yes, that's how you unfold the formation. With your vast consciousness, you can fully bring out more than 120% of the formation's potential. Yes, I will do my best. As you're not a disciple of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, I can't teach you lighting path methods. However, I can teach you my knowledge on formations. To think you're learning formations this well. You flatter me. Woyang. Consciousness threads from the wonderfully mysterious innate heart cannon extend around Kim Yon, covering the void. Her threads of consciousness cover the void, creating a cage that envelops the entire Wuji religious order. To prevent the intruders from escaping, if I firmly weave the void with consciousness and guide the flow of heaven and earth spiritual energy to partition the space itself. Killing. Kim Yon smiles as she completes the formation. Ah, it's finished, Yon Wei Nim. Excellent, Hu, you're quite the impressive one. Yon Wei looks at her with satisfaction, then subtly asks a question. But there's something I'm curious about. Why do you keep following that Seo clan kid? Pardon. Honestly, I don't get it. Sure, that Seo clan kid has remarkable abilities, but he has 19 heads, bizarre hobbies, and mentally, isn't he a bit twisted? I heard you liked him since your hometown, but why do you like such a guy? Before Yon Wei can finish speaking, a scene from inside the formation enters Kim Yon's mind. It's the moment when Beak Rin and Iamwa defeat the brainwashed traitor, Wei Shihan, and finally break the curse barrier of the Wuji religious hall. The two ghostly creatures are entering the Wuji religious hall. They've gone inside. Oh dear, now those two are. Yon Wei clicks her tongue and shows a sympathetic expression towards the two ghostly creatures. Taking advantage of Yon Wei's distraction as she looks inside the formation, Kim Yon ponders deeply. When did I start liking Yunhai and Oppa? She naturally recalls her early days at the company. Thinking back to when she first joined the company, Kim Yon didn't particularly like Seo Yunhaian. Hello, I'm Jo Soo-hyun, the new intern starting today. I'm Kim Yon, also an intern starting today. Starting today. Kim Yon was a bit nervous as she entered the soap company as an intern. Sales Development Department intern. The sales development department of this company had a notorious reputation. Director Jeon Myung-cheol would organize weekend hikes. Deputy Director Kim Young-hoon didn't say much, but Section Chief Oh Hyun-seok was known for working people to the bone, and Deputy Manager Kang Min-hee and Jeon Myung-hoon were, respectively, one gloomy and another just the worst. But the scariest one was yet to come. Hello, interns. Since it's your first day today, there's not much work to do, so just follow me around and learn. I'm Supervisor Seo Yoon-hyun. You can call me Supervisor Seo. First, check your desks. Supervisor Seo Yoon-hyun. With dark circles under his eyes, living on coffee and energy drinks, and always seemingly in a bad mood due to acid reflux. He wasn't an easy person to approach. On her first day, Kim Yeon was immediately targeted by Supervisor Seo. "Miss Kim Yeon, can you please follow quickly? There aren't just one or two places we need to check, and it's us who have to manage the inventory as well." "I am sorry. Miss Kim Yeon, how can you drop that? Hurry, move aside." "Miss Kim Yeon, Haya, never mind, just move aside." Kim Yeon realized quickly. She would be the first to be dropped when the internship ended. Supervisor Seo, he's too scary. With a cup of coffee in hand, muttering Jian Myohoon, that bastard, Seo Yoon-hyun wasn't someone who seemed approachable at first glance. However, other interns seemed to get along with him quite easily. For the first 3 days, Kim Yeon struggled the most. Should I just leave without completing the internship? At that time, Seo Yoon-hyun was known as the hardest worker in the department. In other words, he worked intensely. Assigned under such a person, Kim Yeon felt a deep sense of inadequacy about her own capabilities. Seo Yoon-hyun never rested at work. "Supervisor Seo, it's lunchtime." "Ah, Miss Kim Yeon, go have your lunch. I'll finish this paperwork and join later. Other interns, you can go have lunch too." While others took his word and went for lunch, Kim Yeon couldn't. "I have to make up for my earlier mistakes." While others left, she gritted her teeth and finished her tasks to make up for her mistakes. Even when the skin of her stomach felt like it was touching her back, and she felt like dying from fatigue, she endured by drinking 1 cup of the poison-like coffee after another. Seo Yoon-hyun would only glance at her as he came and went, without saying much. As the internship period reached halfway like that, the atmosphere had changed significantly. "Hello, everyone." "Ah, yes, hello, Supervisor." "Haha, Supervisor Hill, oh." Initially, everyone tried to get close to Seo Yoon-hyun, but as the internship progressed, no one wanted to meet his eyes. In the end, the only one still meeting Seo Yoon-hyun's eyes was none other than Kim Yeon. "Ah, hello, Supervisor." "Oh, Miss Kim Yeon." Seo Yoon-hyun spoke curtly as he looked at Kim Yeon. "Good morning. Please deliver this document to the section chief and check the inventory in the warehouse. If you could bring some coffee from the break room on your way back, I'd really appreciate it." "Yes, yep." It was because Seo Yoon-hyun would give out crazy amounts of work whenever they made eye contact. At first, the others happily took on the tasks given by Seo Yoon-hyun, but as their stamina depleted, they began to avoid him. The only one to endure and continue to meet his gaze was Kim Yeon. And eventually, as the internship period drew to a close, all the interns except for Kim Yeon and the one named Jo Soo-hyun had run away. "Run, we have to run." "Hua, a great ghost." The 2 ghostly creatures who entered the Wuji religious hall began screaming madly, fleeing from inside. Kim Yeon activates the formation with her eyes gleaming. "Where do you think you're going?" "Kiang." As the formation activates, countless threads unravel and spew towards the ghostly creatures. "Chuaruruk." The 2 ghostly creatures are bound by thousands of strands of white spider silk. "Kagagugugu." From within the Wuji religious hall, a giant hand made of curses emerges. Cult leader Seo Yoon-hyun is exerting his power. "Where are you going? Our honored guests should explore the Wuji religious order a bit more before leaving." "Allah save me." "Hashua, cultivator beak." Yimwa, writhing after being caught by Kim Yeon, ignites ghost fire in her eyes as if determined to make a final stand. "Wait, sect leader Iam, what are you trying to do? At least you should escape." Huarururu. Igniting ghost fire all over her entire body, Iamwa burns away Kim Yeon's formation and lunges at Beak Rin, burning the threads that bind him. She then pushes Beak Rin out of the formation and throws herself towards the hand of curses created by Seo Yoon-hyun. "I will buy some time." Sect leader Iamwa Iamwasha. Haliot. The veil of shadows covering the Iamwa blocks the curse hand. Beak Rin, shedding tears of blood, breaks free from Kim Yeon's formation and shouts, "I will come back to save you. I will save everyone." Clench. The curse hand swallows Iamwa, and beyond that hand, she senses the presence emanating the curse. Losing her mind again, she screams, "Huya kaya kaya kirila." The hand of curses slowly drags Iamwa into the Wuji religious hall. "Oh dear, one escaped." Kim Yeon's eyes shine as she looks up at the sky. "Shall I go capture him?" "Woang." As she extends her consciousness, the puppets spread throughout the Wuji religious order rattle. However, Yonwei shakes her head and points to the sky. No need, it seems Jian Myohun has just returned. Kirururung. Above in the dark night sky, a red lightning bolt flashes towards where Beek Rin has fled. We should head inside the Wuji religious hall. It looks like the cult leader is going to imprison the captive in a puppet. Your strength will be needed to assist with the procedure. Haha, actually, Yunhyan Oppa could probably handle it on his own. Kim Yon heads to Seo Yunhyan's quarters with Yonwei. Aside from the interns who couldn't endure Seo Yunhyan's harsh workload and fled, only Kim Yon and one other person successfully joined the soap company. I really ended up joining. In fact, Kim Yon agonized deeply over her decision. Even if she persevered at this mid-sized company that felt more like a small business, it seemed pointless. Furthermore, Supervisor Seo Yunhyan, known as the Labor Devil, would continue to work her hard with his curt attitude. No, let's give it a try anyway. But Kim Yon gritted her teeth and entered the company. In any case, she was gradually getting used to the work, and she was slowly getting closer to Kang Minhee. Hence, she decided to stay a bit longer, and on her first day as an official employee. Miss Kim Yon came. Hello, Supervisor Seo Yun Hyan. For the first time, Kim Yon saw Seo Yunhyan greet her with a smile. Congratulations on joining the company. You've worked hard so far. Oh, I'm saying this because the director and Jian Myohoon aren't here, but to be honest, there are quite a few salary thieves who don't do their job, which causes our work to be a bit intense. That's why I always treat interns a bit harshly to filter them out. Thank you for enduring. For some reason, Kim Yon felt tears welling up as she looked at the hand Seo Yunhyan extended. Congratulations on becoming an official employee, colleague Kim. Welcome. Come on in, Yona. Heading to the basement of the religious hall, Kim Yon, along with Yon Wei Si, the ghostly creature tightly bound in countless curse spells under Seo Yunhyan. For now, let's start the procedure. I need your help. Can you take out the puppet materials from the storage scroll? I see. Reflecting on the past, Kim Yon feels she somewhat understands when she fell for Seo Yunhyan. Although I started truly liking him during our business trip to the Arboretum, maybe I was swayed from the very first day I officially joined. It wasn't just because the previously harsh boss suddenly changed in attitude. Being needed by someone. Perhaps for Kim Yon, it's that which makes her incredibly happy. Even more, let's continue to grow even more from now on. She makes a resolve. To continue growing. To grow stronger, to rise to higher realms. For Seo Yunhyan, for her colleagues, and even for the Mad Lord. As she reforms the captive with Seo Yunhyan, she determines to become someone needed by everyone. That is what she vows. Author's note, for parts that might be divisive, I'll push through with more content. It might be a bit dull, but I'll try to wrap it up quickly, so please be understanding. // Discord https://dsc/gg/wetread. Link to donations in the Discord. Chapter 345, The Deceased 7. Translator, Translating Novice. Editors, Z0rel Blue Mango Aderisnut. Join the Discord for chapter updates and important news. A dark basement. Phew, it's all done now. Good, now it will be complete once we engrave that. A monster with 38 eyes, and a woman standing next to it smile at the small doll in front of them. A small doll in the shape of a little girl. And sealed within it is the Shadow Yin Gate leader, Iamwa, trembling with rage. You vile, devilish cultist bastards, what do you plan to do after turning me into this? Don't worry, we won't do anything outrageous, rest assured. Don't worry, as long as you behave quietly, we won't threaten you. Kim Yon lightly picks up Iamwa. Iamwa struggles frantically in Kim Yon's hand, but the sealing spell embedded throughout the puppet binds all her power, rendering her helpless. You should be grateful instead. If you kept remaining as a ghost before the cult leader, you might have truly gone mad. Yon Wei, who has come down to the basement unnoticed, leans against the wall and speaks to Iamwa. Even if a ghostly creature within the puppet feels the true death of the cult master, they won't be able to properly perceive it due to interference. The fact that you can maintain a clear mind and not just scream mindlessly is also thanks to the cult leader's grace, so you should be thankful. Cug, you devilish cultist bastards, What nonsense are you spouting after turning me into this? Release me immediately. Let me have it for a moment, Yona. Yon Wei takes Hua from Kim Yon, and then throws her somewhere after a brief moment. Hua, where are you throwing me, you devilish cultist bastards? Hua hick. And then, someone with thick hands catches the thrown Hua. From now on, the enlightenment of the Shadow Yin Gate leader is entrusted to you, first guardian ghost King Wei Shihan. Thank you, strategist Nim. It's Wei Shihan, the Death Corps sect leader who has pledged allegiance to the Wuji religious order. Wei Shihan, you traitor, how could you betray me like this? Hua squirms and screams in Wei Shihan's hand, but Wei Shihan looks at her with pity. I joined the Wuji religious order for your sake. If you turn your heart to the Wuji religious order, you will receive a proper puppet body and the cult leader's grace, engraved with the circuits, making you even stronger than before. I don't want to hear anything from a traitor who betrayed us for power. Release me at once. Releasing you will come later. For now, let's learn about the Wuji religious order together. Wei Shihan takes Hua and leaves. Wei Shihan emerges from the Wuji religious hall and carefully holds the struggling Hua in his grip as he tries to move somewhere. At that moment, Quarrung. Suddenly, the sky turns red, and Jian Myohun descends next to Wei Shihan. In Jian Myohun's hand is a pure white skull. Seeing this, Hua wails bitterly. Big Ren, even you. But unlike the sealed Hua, Wei Shihan notices something and asks Jian Myohun. Wei Chief Law Protector, that skull. Yeah, I lost him. Jian Myohun nods indifferently and lifts the skull. At those words, Hua sighs in relief in Wei Shihan's grip while Wei Shihan frowns. I explained in advance about Beak Rin before. In an emergency, he can abandon his body using the life-saving spell, White Bone Shedding Shell Strategy, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, and escape with only his nascent soul. Jian Myohun looks at Wei Shihan. You did indeed say he would abandon his body and escape with his nascent soul. Yes, but how did you lose him? But did you mention that the nascent soul would split into thousands of pieces, and each would use the ground-shrinking technique to escape? That's a divine ability that can only be used at the utmost mastery, Chinese letter, of the white bone shell discarding strategy. Jian Myohun clicks his tongue. It seems he mastered the life-saving method without your knowledge to great completion. Well, anyway, it was my first time seeing such a technique, so I was momentarily surprised and lost him. Next time, I won't miss. Despite Jian Myohun's words, Wei Shihan can only sigh deeply. It's become complicated now. What's complicated? Beak Rin once did a favor to an elder of the Black Ghost Palace when he was at the Heavenly Being stage. With time, that elder would have become a Black Elder of the Black Ghost Palace. They might support Beak Rin in challenging our sect. After pondering for a moment at those words, Jian Myohun smirks. Well, it doesn't matter. We have the cult leader, don't we? Wei Shihan sighs, looking at Jian Myohun's absolute trust in the cult leader, and then recalls Xiao Yunhaiyan, a being with 19 heads and 38 eyes. Well, it might be all right with the cult leader. Wei Shihan turns to look at Jian Myohun entering the Wuji religious hall, then turns around and takes Hua to another part of the Wuji religious order. In Black Ghost Palace, in the basement of the Wuji religious hall, the Wuji ghost King Xiao Yunhaiyan is sitting on the cult leader's seat, tapping on its armrest. For now, what does Yon Wei Nim think? Yon Wei shakes her head at Jian Myohun's report. There's nothing to worry about. This White Yin domain is a non-aggression zone between Pinglai Island and the Underworld Ghost Palace. If the Black Ghost Palace or Flower Painting Western Heaven Palace tries to intervene here, the Underworld Ghost Palace and Pinglai Island will block them. They are not kind enough to let a cake they couldn't have go to another big force. On the contrary, if the Black Ghost Palace comes, we might even receive support from the Underworld Ghost Palace or Pinglai Island. I see. Xiao Yunhaiyan nods upon receiving the report. Then for now, it's best not to act recklessly and to focus on slowly expanding our forces. Yes, that would be best. Slowly but swiftly leveraging the advantage of the Wuji religious order's puppet offerings to swallow the White Yin domain is our top priority. Even if that Beak Rin fellow brings the Black Ghost Palace, if you're in control of the White Yin domain, they will have no choice but to recognize your dominance and withdraw. Hoo-hoo. Understood. Then, for the next 200 years, we'll refrain from rash actions and focus on growing our force and strengthening our position. Having thwarted the intruders, the brief meeting at the Wuji religious hall concludes. Boom, boom, boom. After the meeting, Kim Yeon went to the training ground assigned to her and took the starting form. What can I do to understand what this emotion is? She thought she could simply distinguish it by seeing the colors of intent of the 5 energies converging to the origin. But oddly enough, the color of the emotion Kim Yeon feels is colorless. She can't figure out what her emotion is. Joy is golden, anger is red, sorrow is dark blue, pleasure is silver, love is light pink, hatred is dark red, desire is black. These are the colors she sees in her vision after mastering the wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon and reaching 5 energies converging to the origin. Upon reaching 5 energies converging to the origin, she confirmed that these colors merged to become colorless, forming the domain of consciousness. Therefore, this colorless emotion she sees should have been all emotion. But Kim Yeon knows. It's different, it's not all emotions. Although it's the same colorlessness she saw when reaching the 5 energies converging to the origin, she understands that the colorless emotion her own feelings produce is unique and special. What is this emotion? She can instinctively sense it. The day she discovers the name of this emotion, she will be able to see the true color of this emotion. Phew. She repeats the paired wing dance. At the same time, she repeatedly operates the intertwined branches heart method, becoming accustomed to the internal energy method. Wu-wung. The pure spiritual force surges through her meridians at a terrifying speed. Wu-wung. Kim Yeon reaches out into the air. As her hand moves, the pure spiritual force gathers in the air, moving according to her will as she infuses her consciousness into it. This is the initial stage of controlling Gang Qi. It is said that by practicing to infuse Gang Qi into the air and inputting intent into the Gang Qi to move it freely, one can reach the ultimate pinnacle. He said, if I reach the ultimate pinnacle, I'll become overwhelmingly strong. Seo Yunhyan said so. Kim Yeon believes that reaching the realm of ultimate pinnacle, where one can directly utilize the power of consciousness, will make her incredibly strong. Seo Yunhyan isn't wrong. If she, with her integration level of consciousness, begins to use the acceleration of the ultimate pinnacle, her direct combat power will be amplified unimaginably. However, as she practices the intertwined branches heart method, she wonders, if I become overwhelmingly strong, will I find the name of this emotion? Finding the name of her emotion isn't merely for self-satisfaction. According to the wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon, once mastered, there should be no unreadable intent. But there is one intent that she is unable to read. Thus, she hasn't truly mastered the wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon. I must master the wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon. The Mad Lord has left her a Dharma treasure containing enlightenment. Kim Yeon obtained the enlightenment to combat the Mad Lord from that Dharma treasure, and in order to comprehend the enlightenment, she must master the wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon. Yet she is sometimes confused. Is she trying to understand this emotion for the wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon? Or is she trying to master the wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon to understand the emotion? I don't know. She repeats the paired wing dance. Again and again and again. If I don't know, let's just do as Yoon Hyan Oppa said for now. Even if she doesn't know, he will surely be right. He always has been. With each step she takes, she recalls old memories. Hello, I'm Supervisor Oh Seo, who will be working with you from today onwards. Please call me Supervisor O. Shortly after she became an employee. A new person transferred from another department. Her name was Oh Seo, and it was said she was bullied in her previous department. The main perpetrator, a team leader in the management department, had been referred to the disciplinary committee, dismissed, and expelled from the company. Oh Seo, the victim of the bullying, wished to move to another department due to her trauma. Gosh, that must have been tough. Not really. Everyone else was kind except for team leader IM, so it wasn't that hard. From the first day of her transfer, Oh Seo started talking to Kim Yeon, and they quickly became close without even realizing it. I don't know much about the sales development department, so please teach me well, Miss Kim Yeon. Oh no, I'm just a regular employee, and you're a supervisor. Still, those who have been here longer know much better, right, Miss Min Hee? Kang Min-hee, sipping coffee, glanced at her and replied with a blank expression. Yes, sure. Heck, your short response makes me sad. Seeing Kang Min-hee not paying much attention, Oh Hae-seo pretended to cry and joked around. Maybe this seemed quite endearing, as the male employees in the department would often playfully talk to her. During lunch, Kim Yeon talked about Oh Hae-seo while eating hamburgers with Kang Min-hee. Min-hee Unnai, isn't Supervisor Oh amazing? Even though she was bullied, she always stays cheerful. Ahem. Kang Min-hee replied indifferently while chewing on fries. She feels really suspicious. Pardon, why? Well, that team leader from the management department, I saw him apologize to Oh Hae-seo before he left. He apologized for bullying her, saying he didn't know why he did it and that he was sorry for not being considerate. He was crying and seemed genuinely sorry. Why would someone like that bully then? That's what I'm saying is strange. I know team leader I'm a bit and he's a really kind person. He's soft-hearted, loves animals and volunteers at orphanages, especially the one supported by SJD, the Orandoran House. The higher-ups thought highly of him and he was even up for a promotion. So what would make such a person bully Supervisor O? Kim Yeon stole Kang Min-hee's fries and thought. Maybe he just didn't like her at first sight. That's unlikely. Even if you don't like someone at first glance, working together in this company and getting scolded by the boss makes it so you can't help but get close. Anyway, I really don't think there was actual bullying. Then what was it? Well, it was, but where did my fries go? Although she heard some unsettling things from Kang Min-hee during lunch, Kim Yeon still found herself liking Oh Hae-seo whenever she saw her. Actually, Oh Hae-seo was a person who was liked by everyone. Kim Yeon soon forgot all about Kang Min-hee's words and became close to Oh Hae-seo. Moreover, Oh Hae-seo was very capable. Within 3 days of her transfer, she surpassed Kang Min-hee to become the top elite in the department. Before long, Oh Hae-seo and Kim Yeon were calling each other Unnai and Dongsing, an affectionate way of calling someone younger than you. The tasks given by Seo Yoon-hyun were always tough, but Oh Hae-seo took on all the difficult ones herself, leaving only the easy ones for Kim Yeon, which naturally made her interact more with Oh Hae-seo than Seo Yoon-hyun. Unnai, I've finished this. Thanks. Yona, you made a mistake here. Oh, I'm sorry. It's fine, it's no biggie between us. Oh Hae-seo would often overlook Kim Yeon's mistakes. But Seo Yoon-hyun was different. Colleague Kim, you got the document name wrong. I am sorry. There are also some small format errors. Did you use the B12 format I gave you last time? Actually, I used a different one, I'm sorry. I told you to use that format. Why did you use a different one? I'm sorry. Hae-seo Unnai always asked for this format. Redo it. Receiving the document back from a stern Seo Yoon-hyun, Kim Yeon pouted slightly as she started over. That's how it was at first. But as time passed, things started to feel strange. Oh my Yona, you made a mistake here again. Really? Oh Hae-seo always found mistakes in her documents. But at some point, Seo Yoon-hyun stopped saying anything. Thank you, you can go now. Supervisor. Yes. Did I make any mistakes? No mistakes. But someone else said this was wrong. Really, who? Supervisor O. Miss Hae-seo said that. Weird, we all use this format. After briefly flipping through the documents, Seo Yoon-hyun shook his head. Kim Yeon, there's nothing wrong here. Maybe Miss Hae-seo pointed out something else. Oh, I guess I remembered wrong, I'm sorry. It's nothing. You've been improving a lot lately and have been very helpful. As her skills improved, Seo Yoon-hyun stopped criticizing her. But Oh Hae-seo continued to insist she made mistakes just like the beginning when she didn't, laughing it off. Why? Kim Yeon felt something was off, but she let it go for the time being. However, there was one incident involving Oh Hae-seo. It happened after a company dinner. Everyone was slightly drunk. Kim Yeon, in particular, was a bit tipsy. Before everyone headed their separate ways, Kim Yeon saw Oh Hae-seo following Seo Yoon-hyun. What's this, Hae-seo Unnai? She decided to follow Oh Hae-seo. At first, she just intended to say goodbye. But at some point, Oh Hae-seo disappeared. As if she had hidden somewhere in the darkness, Oh Hae-seo was nowhere to be seen. But her distinctive perfume lingered. Oh Hae-seo was definitely nearby. This strange situation where Oh Hae-seo disappeared, her perfume remained lingering on the nose, and its source was near Seo Yun-hyan. At some point, as if entranced, Kim Yeon followed Seo Yun-hyan to find Oh Haiseo. But Seo Yun-hyan noticed Kim Yeon awkwardly following him before she could find Oh Haiseo. Kim Yeon. Kim Yeon met Seo Yun-hyan's gaze with a blank expression, mouth agape. I was only following Haiseo and Nai. The situation had turned strange. Seo Yun-hyan, slightly taken aback, asked, "What are you doing here?" For a moment, Kim Yeon was at a loss for words. She always found Seo Yun-hyan a bit intimidating. And now, it seemed like she had been caught stalking him. That's... I saw Haiseo Unnai stalking Supervisor Seo, so I followed her to see just what she was doing. Kim Yeon tried to say that, but what came out was different. Hi, Supervisor Seo, stalking. Seo Yun-hyan seemed to process her words for a moment, then responded with a thunderous statement. You were stalking me. No. Fortunately, Seo Yun-hyan smiled. Haha, just kidding. It seems you can't speak well right now because of being drunk. Come here for now, I'll help you. So, someone seems to be stalking you, so you wanted my help, right? Nah. She wanted to say something, but whether it was from nervousness or drunkenness, she couldn't speak properly. She wanted to explain, but since she couldn't speak, she just let it be. Thud. Miss Kim Yeon, can you walk? Woo. I'll call a taxi for you up ahead. Can you walk that far? Kim Yeon felt sick to her stomach. She nodded, indicating she couldn't walk. She felt unjustly treated. She was only following Oh Haiseo, but now she was collapsing and being carried in front of a boss she didn't even like. Seo Yun-hyan sighed and managed to lift her onto his back. I'll carry you to the bus stop up ahead. I'll call a taxi for you there. Supervisor, thank you. As Kim Yeon was being carried on Seo Yun-hyan's back to the bus stop, a mix of drunkenness and sadness bubbled up inside her, making her emotions boil over. And then she poured that boiling something onto Seo Yun-hyan's back. Tha sank buig. Kim Yeon, what are you doing? After that, she couldn't remember clearly. Seo Yun-hyan screamed in fright, then checked on her several times to see if she was okay. He asked her multiple times where her home was, and when she couldn't answer, he took her to a nearby motel and gently laid her down. I'm going crazy. Will this even wash out? Kim Yeon, lying in the motel bed, murmured in a daze. I'm sorry. It's fine. It can happen. When you're drunk, get a good night's sleep. I've set an alarm on your phone, so make sure to go to work on time tomorrow. If you really can't get up, at least call in. The room key is next to you. With that, Seo Yun-hyan left the room. Although she was very nervous when they arrived at the motel, nothing much happened. Supervisor Seo, really? She thought about Seo Yun-hyan as she closed her eyes in bed. Thanks you. She soon fell deeply asleep. That night she had a nightmare. In the nightmare, she woke up to find someone stroking her hair and measuring her fingernails with a ruler next to her bed. That something hummed a cheerful tune, but its eyes, visible in the darkness, were eerily emotionless. A strong scent of roses wafted from the figure. It was the same scent Oh Haiseo used. Kim Yeon wanted to scream, but in the dream, her mouth was sealed shut, preventing her from making any sound. The black figure pried open her mouth, counted her teeth, and then disappeared. It was a nightmare she never wanted to have again, but morning came nonetheless. When Kim Yeon recalled what happened last night, she thought she was going to lose her mind. Should I just die? What did I do to Supervisor Seo? Thinking she wouldn't have any excuse even if she got slapped at work, Kim Yeon went to work with a gloomy expression. But contrary to her expectations, Seo Yun-hyan didn't say much. Are you here, Miss Kim Yeon? Yes, Supervisor, last night, thank you. Well, you seem to be having a hard time, so I just gave some help. Drink in moderation next time. Also, the executive director is coming today, so please organize these charts. Whatever happened yesterday, Seo Yun-hyan was still Seo Yun-hyan. Nothing had changed much. But Kim Yeon's heart changed a bit that day. Kyuang. Kim Yeon stares at the massive trace of destruction before her. Surung. The flying knife at her fingertips hums, as if it still has plenty of energy. Emil. Recalling old memories, she smiles bitterly. Back then, what did Yun-hyan Oppa think of me? Maybe it's because of that incident that he doesn't see her as a romantic partner. But after that incident, Kim Yeon found herself liking Seo Yoon Hyan a bit more. Previously, Seo Yoon Hyan was a cold, work-obsessed labor devil who occasionally smiled, but at some point, she started to appreciate his behavior more. Was it because he evaluated her as she was, unlike Oh Hae-seo, who subtly created mistakes that didn't exist? Or maybe it was because she saw him smile more often as her work skills improved. Her feelings for Seo Yoon Hyan. The first seed was planted on the first day she officially joined the company, but it's clear that the sprout started to grow from that moment. The sprout grew slowly. The sprout became a stem, taking root in the heart and gradually thickening. Reflecting on the past years, Kim Yeon hones her heart in martial arts. As she retraces the past years, her time at the cult also passes. Years go by. Oh Hyeon-seok regained the nascent soul stage. Countless years pass. Oh Hyeon-seok reached the grand perfection heavenly being stage from the nascent soul stage. Jeon Myo-hoon built all of the 5 elements axes, reaching grand perfection 4-axis stage, and Hong Fan reached the mid 4-axis stage, marking the long passage of time. During that time, Kim Yeon's cultivation realm did not advance. The only thing that did advance was Kwakikagagweng. The mysterious bizarre ghost king is exerting their power again. Take cover. Left Law Protector's training ground has been destroyed. The martial arts she had been honing. That was all. Weighing. Kim Yeon stands in place, channeling her internal energy. Within her meridians, the intertwined branches heart method constantly rotates and connects as one. Her pure martial arts realm has already reached the extreme of 5 energies, converging to the origin. However, the power of Kim Yeon's martial arts is absolutely not just that of 5 energies converging to the origin. Kagagugugu. For a moment, a pinkish glow seems to scatter throughout the entire white yin domain. Hwaruru. The internal energy of the intertwined branches heart method burns through Kim Yeon's entire body. Hu-woo. As she exhales, the pure spiritual forces that envelop her re-enters her body. I know, what is this? Hong Fan, who has run to her training ground, looks at her with a stunned expression. Lady Kim Yeon just now. Hong Fan, you're here. Ahaha, I went a bit overboard. That was not the power of a puppet but Lady Kim's own martial arts. Yes, I don't know exactly, but at some point the output started to amplify immensely. Incredible, haha. I understand you're still at the realm of 5 energies converging to the origin. I'm sorry for worrying you. Agu, it's really broken down, but don't worry too much, I'll handle the fixing with the puppets. Hong Fan stares at Kim Yeon with a bewildered expression for a moment before shaking his head and speaking. While I did run here in surprise, more importantly, the strategist Nim has called for a meeting. Yeon Wei-nim. Yes, she has called everyone to the Wuji Religious Hall, not just Lady Kim Yeon, but also all the Guardian Ghost Kings and the Law Protectors. What's going on? Kim Yeon follows Hong Fan with a puzzled look. Shortly after, the Wuji Religious Hall, where the cult leader Wuji Ghost King Seo Yoon Hyan resides. In its basement, several important figures have gathered. Chief Law Protector 6, Extremes Ghost King Jeon Myo-hoon. Left Law Protector Mysterious Bizarre Ghost King Kim Yeon. Right Law Protector Soul Extinguishing Ghost King Oh Hyeon-seok. Guardian Law Protector Hong Fan, and other important figures than the 4 great law protectors of the Wuji religious order. The first Guardian Ghost King, Wei Shihan. Starting with the second Guardian Ghost King Iamwa, 12 Guardian Ghost Kings also gathered underground. Jeon Myo-hoon's eyes gleam as he sees Seo Yoon Hyan's shadow. Seo Yoon, no, cult leader, you have also mastered the 6 extremes Yin Thunder body, and it has already reached great completion. Because of you I could not learn it, damn it, you should have held. No, it was an insult that couldn't be held back, well done. You know well, honestly, if you had experienced something similar, wouldn't you have lost your mind too? After some small talk among themselves, they fall silent when Yeon Wei finally enters. Seo Yoon Hyan also stops chatting with Jeon Myo-hoon, his eyes brightening. Now that everyone is here, let's start the meeting. At his words, all the Guardian Ghost Kings, except for the 4 great law protectors, kneel before Seo Yoon Hyan. After a moment, Seo Yoon Hyan raises his 19 heads and speaks. Enough with the excessive courtesy. Military strategist, explain the reason for the assembly. Yes, cult leader, first of all everyone, we have some bad news. Yon Wei speaks with a hardened expression. Following Yon Wei's words, not only the 4 great law protectors, except for Jian Myohun, but also the 12 guardian ghost kings are startled. Pinglai Island, Underworld Ghost Palace, and Black Ghost Palace have designated our Wuji religious order as a heretical cult, and have declared the cult leader as the public enemy of the White Yin domain. I hold my throbbing head while sitting on the cult leader's seat. I didn't expect it to come to this. It has already been 230 years since we came to the Netherworld. By now, my colleagues have one by one gained combat power fitting of the 4-axis stage, or are on the verge of reaching it. I have also succeeded in building more than 70% of my longevity axis. Moreover, branches of the Wuji religious order have spread all over the lower realms, and those borrowing my power are increasing, accelerating the establishment of my longevity axis. However, at some point, the Underworld Ghost Palace and Pinglai Island figured out what I was doing through the movements of the Wuji religious order. They discovered that I am building the 5 blessings axes in the White Yin domain, and unlike the 3 major sects, Shadow Yin Gate, White Vein Gate, and Death Corpse sect, who didn't understand the 5 blessings axes, they are not pleased that I, who knows about it, am in control. In the end, they pressured me, almost like a threat, to join either the Underworld Ghost Palace or Pinglai Island. And in that process, Jian Myohun killed the envoys from Underworld Ghost Palace and Pinglai Island. The reason is that the 2 envoys mocked Jian Myohun after witnessing him caressing the hand of Jin Sohei. As a result, the 2 major forces declared me a public enemy. Additionally, Beek Rin, whom we missed previously, brought the Black Ghost Palace to oppose me, ultimately leading me to be designated as a public enemy by the 3 major forces. Upon learning this, Yon Wei made a proposal, looking as if she had a headache. Since it has come to this, let's abandon the Wuji religious order. What do you mean by that? You've already built over 70% of the longevity axis anyway, and your influence in the lower realms has grown enough. Abandon the Wuji religious order in the White Yin domain and establish another in a different void spirit pond. Just change the name slightly, and there won't be any problems. What about the followers then? What about them? Do you think you're a real cult leader? Don't get too immersed in the role. No, but you were the one who enjoyed it the most. Nonsense. Anyway, gather the core leadership tomorrow and announce it. I sigh as I recall Yon Wei's words. Hey, 19 mouths exhale a bluish breath. The guardian ghost kings, who have been trembling with anxiety, stand up and take a listening stance at my reaction. From now on, this cult leader will set the course of action. I glance at Yon Wei, who is sending me a look from the side, and speak. The Wuji religious order will not back down. Whether those pig-like 3 major forces come or not, this seat will not abandon this land. I feel sorry for Yon Wei, but so what if I've become a public enemy? Crunch. I clench the void and smile. Now, I have enough power to protect those who follow me. I'm no longer weak enough to waver between good and evil. Place your trust in me. I will protect you all. Blessed are those who believe. Cult leader, cult leader, cult leader, cult leader, cult leader, cult leader, cult leader. // Discord https://dsc.gg/wetread. Link to donations in the Discord. Chapter 346, The Deceased 8. Editors, Z0rel Blue Mango Aderasnut. Join the Discord for chapter updates and important news. Chapter 346, The Deceased 8. Have you gone crazy? After the guardian ghost kings left, Yon Wei glares at me with eyes ablaze. What do you mean by suddenly declaring that you won't back down? Are you planning to use those guardian ghost kings as bait and then have us escape? That's not a bad idea. It's a bit of a waste, but it's rational. Please tell me that's the plan. Yes. After releasing my ghost king transformation, I returned to my human Seo Yunhaiyan form. Did you know, Elder Yon Wei? What? First guardian ghost King Wei Shihan and second guardian ghost King Iamhua are getting married. And so what? The Bone Sanctuary sect leader has recently risen to the position of the 11th guardian ghost king and has taken a disciple. His face has been very bright recently. The recently joined puppet instructor has successfully advanced to the chi building stage and looks quite pleased. Additionally, a follower who joined last time accumulated enough merits within the cult and was granted a small cave residence as a reward. I saw him looking very happy, and I continue speaking slowly but clearly. This year alone, over 40,000 disciples have joined our religious order, and the voices praising our order throughout the White Yin domain are growing louder. In fact, the followers are even taking charge of public order, so evil spirits no longer run rampant as they used to. Rather, this place now needs our cult. You've completely immersed yourself in playing the cult leader. Have you forgotten our original purpose? Yes, I know, to build the longevity axis, to find the disciples of the golden divine heavenly thunder sect, and to return. Exactly. We've already found traces of our sect's disciples. We don't have time to waste on babysitting the Wuji religious order's followers. We need to find our disciples. I've thought about it thoroughly. I stand up from my seat and approach Yonwei. Ultimately, whether it's building the longevity axis, finding the disciples of the golden divine heavenly thunder sect, or returning to the bright cold realm, they all have one thing in common. Do you know what that is? It's for our own benefit. It's to save our comrades. Why are we trying to rescue the disciples of the golden divine heavenly thunder sect? Because they are our comrades. Why am I building the longevity axis? Because we need it to open the side path. Why do we want to return to the bright cold realm? Because only by returning can we find clues to save Kang Minhee. I have no interest in those I haven't given my affection to. I smile appropriately and remain detached appropriately. But if they're comrades I have once given my affection to, I cannot ignore them. The Wuji religious order have already become our comrades, just like the golden divine heavenly thunder sect. How absurd! How dare you equate the golden divine heavenly thunder sect established by our founder to this pseudo-religious cult? Jian Myohun, Grand Elder Jian Myohun, immediately capture this insolent fool, hang him upside down and beat him. Yonwei, her face flushed red, points at me furiously. It seems that comparing the golden divine heavenly thunder sect with the Wuji religious order has hurt her pride. However, Jian Myohun merely shrugs. If I fight him, I'm the one getting beaten up, you know that. How can you, as the High Elder of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, turn a blind eye to this outrageous situation? Keek. As Yonwei starts having a fit, Jian Myohun sighs and transforms into red lightning, striking the back of Yonwei's neck. She who is borrowing Yonjin's body immediately falls unconscious. Weiying, a Taiji symbol appears in Jian Myohun's hand and floats above Yonwei's upper dantian. Divided soul reversal. Payet, the consciousness of Yonwei residing within Yonjin, is expelled back to the head realm. Please cool your head for a while in the head realm shrine, ancestor. Well done, honestly she was quite noisy. That is true. Well, your words have a point. After all, it's a fact that after nearly 200 years together, we've grown attached to this place. I also promised to be a witness at the Guardian Ghost King's wedding. But Jian Myohun looks at me coldly and asks, however, the ancestor isn't entirely wrong. What about the sect's disciples whose whereabouts we've recently discovered? If we stay holed up here, we won't be able to meet them. And if we leave to meet them, the three great factions will attack and destroy our cult. How do you plan to handle that? Don't worry about that, Hong Fan Kim Yon. The two people whose names I call step forward. Hong Fan clears his throat and spreads something out in front of Jian Myohun, beginning his explanation. Kim Yon also explains to Jian Myohun that she has completed everything I have previously requested. After listening, Jian Myohun remains silent for a moment before letting out a hollow laugh. Ha ha ha, crazy bastard, do you think this is possible? What's impossible about it? If this really works, Jian Myohun chuckles. This cult will become the most renowned power in the Nether Ghost realm. Well, isn't that a good thing? Let's become even more famous and spread the concept of better welfare throughout the entire Nether Ghost realm. Ha, well's fine. Jian Myohun chuckles briefly, then turns around. Do as you please. If it turns out as you say, then it definitely won't matter if 3 great factions come or if 50 integration cultivators attack. Moreover, it will make rescuing our sect's disciples much easier. Jian Myohun carries the unconscious body of Yon Jin out of the Wuji religious hall, leaving only Kim Yon, Oh Hyunseok, Hong Fan and myself inside. Is there anything Hyunseok Hyungnim needs these days? There's nothing I particularly need. Just secure some space for me when I break through to the 4-axis stage. Yes, I'll prepare it. Thanks, then I'm off training. Oh Hyunseok waves casually and leaves the basement. As usual, Hong Fan disappears into the shadows and begins to coordinate personnel in the Void Spirit Pond according to my orders. I look at Kim Yeon. And Yona. Yes. I heard you destroyed the training ground again. Oh, I'm sorry. Lately, there's a lot of times when I can't control my strength. Controlling strength. I stare at Kim Yeon for a moment before asking. Do you still have the same feelings for me? She nods firmly with clear eyes. Yes, they haven't changed, absolutely. All right, you can go. Kim Yeon smiles faintly and leaves the basement. I sigh and sit in my seat. The Nether Ghost Realm, like the Bright Cold Realm, has stable realm and chaos realm. The White Yin Domain, where we are located, is at the southern edge of the Nether Ghost Realm. We have heard that the disciples of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect are currently isolated in the northern chaos realm of the Nether Ghost Realm. They're collecting the remains of cultivators who went berserk after being eroded by entering nirvana true persons. Krun, the Black Ghost Palace, has given such a task to the disciples of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. They've essentially forced them to investigate a place filled with radioactive materials. The remains of cultivators killed due to the corruption of entering nirvana true persons are incredibly dangerous, but also highly valuable. The Black Ghost Palace must have desired them despite the risk. However, they probably found it too wasteful to send their own forces to such a dangerous place, and too frustrating to ignore, eventually pushing the disciples of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect into it. I need to rescue them quickly. If it drags on too long, something might happen. It will be soon. The three great factions have designated me a public enemy, and they will soon come to eliminate me. When that time comes, I can shock and confuse everyone and go rescue the disciples of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect on the opposite side of the Nether Ghost Realm. Yeonwei thought I impulsively acted out and complained about it, but in reality, I have been planning this since the moment I became attached to the Wuji religious order. Of course, it lacks secrecy in terms of Yeonwei's plan, and the risk is high, so she would have strongly opposed it even if I had informed her beforehand. Yes, to be honest, there are no problems up to this point. However, I furrow my brows upon seeing Kim Yeon's recent condition. Hong Fan. Yes, master. How has Yeon's condition been lately? Her abnormal symptoms have certainly worsened. Hong Fan speaks with a serious expression. I saw her just now at the training ground. She went berserk, unleashing her power uncontrollably and collapsing the training ground. Recently, Kim Yeon has not been in a normal state. Sometimes she would train in martial arts for days in a dazed, dreamlike state, and other times she would be overcome with madness, making the puppets perform the paired wings dance. The problem is that she doesn't remember any of it once she regains her senses. There hasn't been any serious damage as of yet, but I have noticed a kind of madness growing inside Kim Yeon. Mad Lord, that man. In this life, the Mad Lord had conversed with me in a relatively sane state for a longer time. As a result of that, he sent Kim Yeon back to me with a rational mind. Moreover, the Mad Lord had even crafted and delivered a Dharma treasure imbued with his enlightenment specifically for Kim Yeon. I assumed the enlightenment contained in that Dharma treasure would be the same as that in the previous life, which she had imparted, so I didn't bother to look deeply into it. But that became a mistake. Damn it, that man. At some point, Kim Yeon began to show a strange obsession with the wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon. With half-glazed eyes, she would mutter things like, I must find the final color, I must call its name, and repeatedly recite the formula of the wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon like a madwoman. It's clear that the Mad Lord of this life has deliberately inserted madness into the Dharma treasure alongside his enlightenment. By the time I asked Kim Yeon to give me the Dharma treasure so I could re-examine it, she had already dismantled and destroyed it. From her words, the structure apparently required dismantling the Dharma treasure to receive the enlightenment of the wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon, so there was no helping it. In normal circumstances, I would have used the spirit sealing bodkin or the sea of righteousness and mountain of grace to mend Kim Yeon's mind. However, when she confessed her unchanged heart to me just a moment ago, in such moments, the madness completely vanishes and she becomes perfectly lucid. Currently, Kim Yeon's state is a mix of parts taken over by madness and parts that are completely sane. If I recklessly try to mend her mind, the sane Kim Yeon might be sealed, leaving only the madness-filled Kim Yeon. I can only wait until the madness fully takes over before mending her mind or hope that Kim Yeon overcomes it on her own. You said Kim Yeon went berserk and destroyed the training ground with just martial arts. The training ground that I, Yeon Wei, and Kim Yeon herself combined strengths to set up the protective formation for. Yes, despite not gathering heaven and earth spiritual energy through celestial energy guidance or anything similar, her power surged greatly in an instant. I recall the look in her eyes when she confessed her feelings. Those incredibly clear eyes. I remember what lay beyond those eyes. When she had those eyes, for a fleeting moment, it seemed like her heart essence was unified. Perhaps, if she overcomes this madness, she might reach entering heavens beyond the path. Though she aims for ultimate pinnacle, the heart tribe doesn't necessarily need to pass through the ultimate pinnacle when awakening manifestation, so theoretically, it isn't impossible. Overcome it, Yona. The current Kim Yeon is like a child lost in a forest. The forest is crawling with knife-wielding bandits, making the situation look very dire. But in her hands is a K2 assault rifle, fully loaded and set to automatic fire, so if the conditions align, she can become incredibly formidable. A situation where if she just fires, there will be no danger. It's already in your hands, Kim Yeon. Although I've been guiding her in martial arts to draw out her power, there's always been a sense of unease. But if she eventually awakens her abilities, Kim Yeon will grow dazzlingly. Still, I've confirmed all the formations that Lady Kim Yeon set up throughout White Yin Domain. Nothing will hinder the operation. All right, that's enough. I lean back on my seat and close my eyes. Within my vast consciousness domain, I sense Hua and Wei Shihan preparing for their wedding ceremony at a location of the Wuji religious order. The brief peace is coming to an end. Soon, many powerful figures from the three great forces will storm in. There is no fear. Be ready to activate it at any moment, Hong Fan. Yes, Master. White Yin Domain is now almost entirely swallowed by the Wuji religious order. Branches of the Wuji religious order are established throughout White Yin Domain, and over 90% of the spirit creatures in White Yin Domain are followers of the Wuji religious order. Moreover, news from the Wuji religious order's headquarters spreads across the entire territory through its branches via the installed relay spells. Hey, did you hear? The rumor that the first Guardian Ghost King is getting married. Yes, and the second Guardian Ghost King is the partner. Indeed, those two were a match made by the heavens even before joining the Wuji religious order. They couldn't be together before because they had to take care of their respective sects, but now that they're free from those responsibilities, they're finally tying the knot. Haha, that's quite satisfying to hear. The wedding of the first Guardian Ghost King Wei Shihan and the second Guardian Ghost King Hua is exactly that. The entire White Yin Domain is abuzz with excitement at the news of these two spirits finally coming together after hundreds of years. Wuji Religious Order Headquarters. In front of the Wuji Religious Hall. There, the two spirits are about to be united. Jian Myohoon, cloaked in pitch-black ghostly energy in accordance with the traditions of the White Yin Domain, presides over the wedding with a chilling voice. Do you, groom Wei Shihan, swear not to devour her, not to banish her spirit or to exorcise the bride Hua? I swear. Wei Shihan, using the circuits of his puppet body to compress and transform into a handsome figure, stands wearing the traditional attire of the White Yin Domain, nodding with a flushed face. Do you, bride Hua, swear to stay with groom Wei Shihan even if he is purified, to face great ghosts together, and to remain together even if dragged to the netherworld? I swear. Hua, clad in traditional attire and housed in a beautiful puppet body, faces Wei Shihan, blushing with the circuits on her face. You two ghostly creatures for 100 years, 1,000 years, and beyond 10,000 years, pledge to be each other's paired wings and intertwined branches. Both ghostly creatures nod in unison and shout. We swear. Good. Then I, the chief law protector of the Wuji religious order, the Six Extremes Ghost King Jian Myohoon, bless the union and connection of these two lovers and proclaim that they now share the same fate. Kagagugugu. Jian Myohoon scatters the curse spells contained within the Six Extremes Yin Thunder body into the air. An eerie ghostly wail echoes through the air, and the multitude of ghosts attending the wedding let out scream-like cheers. Kaya, long live the guardian ghost kings. Long live the Wuji religious order, Kia. Long live the couple. Countless ghosts laugh heartily, some rattling in cursed dolls, and a ghostly feast is held in front of the Wuji religious hall. As it is the wedding of two guardian ghost kings of the Wuji religious order, Jian Myohoon, along with Oh Hyun-seok, Kim Yeon, Yeon Jin, and others attend to offer their congratulations. Among them, Kim Yeon has the role of capturing the wedding ceremony of the two guardian ghost kings using image spells. Woong. Kim Yeon furrows her brow as she records the event into the record book. It's strange. Recently, her emotions have been excessively tumultuous, and there have been times when she felt strange. However, there have been no major issues so far, and Seo Yoon-hyun also encouraged her, saying that such phenomena will disappear as she reaches higher realms of martial arts. But as Kim Yeon watches the happy couple getting married, she feels something welling up inside her chest. Especially when Jian Myohoon recites the wedding vow, a phrase traditionally spoken across various dimensions and realms. Pledged to be each other's paired wings and intertwined branches. Hearing that phrase, Kim Yeon feels a strange scene flash before her eyes. Look, Yeona, this is the paired wing spear. It's a strange scene. A woman is dancing with short spears in both hands. The dance is strikingly similar to the fan dance that Seo Yoon-hyun has taught her. Throb. No. Kim Yeon momentarily feels as if her mind is merging with the someone in that scene, and she shakes her head. This isn't me. Throb, throb. Reflecting on her past, she reaffirms her own identity. She often reassures herself of her identity by reflecting on her past, feeling as if she is becoming someone else. I need to grow faster, even more. With a determined look in her eyes, she feels the urge to master the wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon even more. And so, the wedding ceremony of Eumwa and Wei Shihan concludes. Finally, we are together, Eumwa. It's something I never imagined before. Eumwa looks at Wei Shihan with loving eyes and smiles. It would have been nice if Baek Rin could have also given us his blessings. Indeed, if I hadn't let Baek Rin escape back then, could we all have been happy together? My heart always aches when I think of that guy. I wanted to share happiness with him too. Mysterious bizarre ghost king, thank you for the recordings. Wei Shihan takes the record book from Kim Yeon and falls into thought. Seeing this, Eumwa makes a bitter expression but suddenly claps her hands as if she has a good idea. I have a good idea. What is it, Eumwa? Well, territory of the Black Ghost Palace, Ghost River Domain. In a branch of the Black Ghost Palace, next to the ominous nether-crossing ship emitting ghostly energy, sits a mountain range. And within that mountain range lies a cave residence. The cave residence of Baek Rin. Finally, Kagagugu. Inside the cave residence, Baek Rin absorbs the ghostly energy emanating from the nether-crossing ship, his eyes burning with ghost fire. I have regained my former realm. He has restored the cultivation he had lost through using the white bone shedding shell strategy. He smiles with satisfaction. Now I have the minimum qualifications to negotiate with the Black Ghost Palace. I just need to ask them to invade the White Yin domain. Even if it takes some time, if I slowly explain to them that evil heretical cult, they will surely help for the sake of peace in the White Yin domain. He clenches his fist with a hopeful voice. I will definitely save. As Baek Rin solidifies his will, something knocks on the barrier in front of his cave residence, drawing his attention. What is it? Wuang. With a gesture, he brings the object knocking on the barrier towards him. That day, a record book arrived before Baek Rin. // Discord https://dsc gg/wetread. Link to donations in the Discord.